Welcome to BallSpitAnalytics, where we spit ball knowledge. And today is the first podcast. We made it, boys. We got your co-host, Dylan. We got the other co-host, John Pilkington. And then we got new member, newly added, Jacob. We're here, boys.
I'm here, bro.
We're here.
We're
Bro,
here.
feels like
We're
we've
here.
been talking about this forever, bro. Literally been
Oh
talking
God,
about
bro.
Dude.
this
We're
forever.
here, bro. We're here, bro.
All right, Dylan, go ahead, introduce yourself. What teams
All
you
right,
pull
y'all.
for?
I'm Dylan. Y'all already know me. Dilly fishing on the side. Be doing some fishing. Y'all go subscribe to that. Got all that linked up. I pull for the Auburn Tigers, the Orlando Magic, and the future Super Bowl champions, the Carolina Panthers. John, go
All right,
ahead.
my name's John. Y'all know, most of y'all know me from the streams, of course. Uh, Lifelong Packers fan, lifelong Spurs fan, lifelong Alabama fan. And yeah, I mean, I feel like my main sport is basketball. I feel like that's where like my main knowledge comes in. But I feel like I'm also very knowledgeable on like football and like UFC, of course. I've been getting into that a lot more. And yeah, Jacob,
Um, I'm
Jacob.
Jacob, lifelong Bama fan, fucking since a baby. Um, Recent Cardinals fan, just like the jerseys. Not don't really have a baseball team, just focal baseball, kind of knowledgeable in it. Um, and NBA Suns fan, poverty. But you know what I'm saying? That's it. Ball spit analytics.
Ball
That's
Spit
it.
Analytics.
Um,
What a name.
I also want to touch on. I want to touch on something. Let's go through our sports background. Me, 2 years of little league baseball, was a professional, and 7 years of trying out for the basketball team. Never made it, but I did it. And then seventh grade middle school bench on the football team. Did that.
Bro,
That's my background, y'all.
All right, sports background for me. Um, Three-time Little League champion in basketball. Uh, Two-time tournament, out of region tournament MVP in Little League basketball. Um, was a starter at shooting guard all throughout seventh grade and eighth grade basketball. Then I got up to ninth grade. Coach tried to play me at power forward, and I quit because I am not a power forward. Now, Jacob,
You could put some meat
um,
on. You could be a four.
I got the shot
I
for
was
it.
low
I can
key like the
stretch.
Shaq. Yeah, nah. I mean, low key, bro. You know what I'm saying? You hit like 6 foot, bro. You're a cold ass power forward. Let's be honest.
Oh, for sure,
Um,
easily.
I
Hey, I
was
can time a rebound now too. I can time a rebound.
right, but my boy can green a rebound.
Mm-hmm. 2K26 on that.
Um, I was the Shaq of Little League, and then I just quit varsity basketball because our team was like 2 and fucking 16. So I was a freshman, and
Oh my god.
I asked to play JV. He wouldn't put me on JV, and we were like 2 and 16, so I quit. And that's pretty much the end of it. I started taking pictures, and I've just been kind of viewing as a fan slash as something I wanted to do for the rest of my life, really.
Yeah, so moral of the story is we are three sports rejects that feel like we know enough to talk about. Whether or not y'all agree or not, what matters is we think we can. And that's all that matters.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I'll be honest, we're three sports rejects that do no more than a lot of ESPN professionals. So
Completely agree.
I probably shouldn't say that,
Don't
but
ruin
you
Dylan's
know what I'm
chances at a
saying?
future job. He is going into
Yeah,
sports
shout out
journalism.
Dylan, bro. That is facts, bro.
Stephen A.
Dylan
Smith just
loves
saw what you
ESPN.
said.
I'm an ESPN enthusiast. What can I say?
Yep, yep.
Oh, grab yours,
All
bro.
right. First topic we will get into, let's talk about all the games that we've watched today. Dylan, if you would like to start on, the biggest game of the day, Kansas State
All right,
versus Iowa State, 11 a.m. game, Central Time, in Dublin, Ireland, the Guinness Bowl.
the Guinness Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah, going into it, I knew that both teams would run the ball a lot, which they did, also because of the rain. But 4 turnovers in literally a quarter combined with both teams was insane. It was pretty sloppy. It was literally a 7-7 game at halftime, I think,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah,
Yep.
I think it was
7
just
to 7.
7-7 at halftime. It was sloppy. Like, and you could just tell both quarterbacks didn't even know where they were throwing the football. Like I remember one play specifically. This is when the rain stopped. So at this point, I'm expecting them to obviously throw better passes.
Yep.
This dude, Avery Johnson, has a dude on like a 15-yard out route. That dude sails it over his receiver's head to the point where the defender that wasn't even in the area could have picked it off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had a better second half, but dude, Iowa State's defense, bro, like totally improved
Yeah.
from
so
last year.
I really wanted to
But
touch in on that. Like me and you discussed yesterday, they were ranked 102nd in rushing defense last season, and
Yep.
today that just looked completely different and it wasn't even no
Yeah.
transfer guys that they brought in. It was literally just guys that were backups from last year that developed
Right.
over the summer.
they,
Great development from Iowa State and that coaching staff, and they showed that they could stop the run against a great running team. Avery Johnson,
oh
one of
yeah,
the better rushing quarterbacks in college football. Dylan Edwards did go down. Maybe that could have changed something.
yeah.
But I did like what I saw,
I'm gonna add on that.
especially from.
Oh,
Do y'all remember? I gotta catch the name. The nickel cornerback for Iowa State. He was all over the field. I think I wrote him down in my notes. He was all over the field.
It was on the. It was it Bacon?
No, that was a linebacker. Hey, Caleb Bacon.
Bacon played
amazing
great.
open field
Yeah.
tackler.
Bacon-
Amazing open
He
field
was- yeah.
tackler. I
was
think
after it.
who I'm thinking about is Marcus Neal Jr. Marcus Neal
Marcus
Jr.
Neal.
played a
Oh,
phenomenal
Marcus
game.
Neal Jr. was a dog.
He played a phenomenal game for Iowa State on defense.
Yeah, I agree. Also, like the only thing that was really working for Kansas State, honestly, like was running. But I thought Iowa State, they stopped their run when it mattered the most. Like
Mhm.
on that fourth and one
Yep.
on the 30.
And I
was
know
pretty
Jacob
crazy.
wants to get into that because man,
So I'm gonna pass it to him. I'm gonna let him talk about it.
I got a lot of takeaways from this game. I'll just start off with coaching mostly. I felt like Kansas State head coach. I have it written down somewhere, but I'm gonna just look it up. It was an awful game from him. I mean, really, really all game. I felt like he had an awful coaching job. They went 1 for 4 on fourth downs. I saw every fourth down play. I don't think any of them were necessary in any capacity. I think it was kind of just like we're gonna go for it type of move. And I mean, they made one of them, but it didn't pay off. So it was like, what did you go for the fourth down anyway? The other 3 ones, completely unnecessary to go for it, and they cost you points in the end. To me, that is a coach directly losing his team a game.
to interrupt.
I didn't feel like Iowa State's coach was bad though, or anything unbelievable. I just think he capitalized on the mistakes that the Kansas State coach made, and I think that that's all you can do as a head coach really for your players when you get into the game is just making adjustments, capitalizing on mistakes. And so yeah, I mean, I think Chris Kleiman really lost Kansas State this game today. Over everything.
I would also like to mention, didn't
I
he
agree.
also miss a challenge if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, I
Um,
because it costed one of their timeouts because they only
Yeah,
had
that's why
one
they
timeout
did
that.
on their fourth down from their own
and
30.
It was a pretty clear. I'm pretty sure he challenged the spotting of a ball, and I thought it was pretty clear that.
on the Avery Johnson run,
Oh yeah,
he was
Yeah,
going to,
challenge.
but they put it on review because
Yeah.
Iowa State's last drive, they used all 3 timeouts because they still had all 3.
Yeah,
But
see, but that was
Iowa State went for it.
another potential error
Yeah.
that got saved by, But it's another potential
officiating,
error that he was looking into to make, and it's just, man, after so many mistakes, how could you just keep kind of just going in that direction as a head coach? And your first game is a ranked. Not only is it ranked, but it's an in-conference game.
Yeah. No, I mean that's bad, man. Like you said, ranked game in conference, first game of the season. Your team has pretty much kept you there all game. As a coach, you have to make the difference, and he was the difference that had them lose the game.
Mm-hmm.
Skill positions, I felt like on both sides of the ball, skill positions were good. Like I felt like everyone balled out. I think like some guys on Iowa State's side that I feel like didn't really get enough balls thrown to him. I didn't see Chase Sewell really get enough thrown at him, but he was open a lot. I mean, The redshirt freshman Dominic Overby. He only had 2 catches. One of them was a touchdown, but he
Impressive.
was open a lot. Yeah, Beck just has to give him the
The way
ball.
he tracked that ball for the first touchdown of the game, phenomenal.
Was
Phenomenal.
I mean that was nasty. On Kansas State side, on the flip side, I felt like Dylan Edwards, him getting hurt is unfortunate. He does have the
Yeah.
problem with fielding punts, but I mean when the guy's healthy, it's 7 yards a carry. You know what I'm saying? Like we see stuff from him that shows why he's a 5-star, but he's never playing. Jace Brown, is that it? Jace Brown,
Jace Brown.
well, he was phenomenal today. I mean,
Love that
he
guy.
was
Love
phenomenal
that guy.
today. I mean, he should have got the ball thrown to him more, if you ask me. He was
He was missed
phenomenal.
a few times.
Like I thought he was just everything you needed him to be. Um, I mean, quarterback play wise, Avery Johnson he was cool. I mean, he had that one touchdown at the end of the game that's going to make his numbers inflate a little bit, but
I'm
I
not
mean, it
gonna
didn't
lie. I
change the
did
outcome
want
of
to
the
touch into
game.
that. That ball, it really was not that good of a throw. It was in the air
It
for.
was underthrown.
It was underthrown. It was in the air for a while. The safety could have easily got to it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion, I just think he took a
Mhm.
horrible angle on the ball when it got to him.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's just in the air for too
And the
long.
play before
and
that too.
Yeah, my thing with Avery Johnson, I think it comes all down to mechanics. When he throws the ball, it kind of looks like he's just throwing an axe throwing game.
Yeah.
And
Seriously, bro.
you can't make it just throwing the ball like that. At some point, that will come back to cost you. His footwork, I also do not like his footwork. I think he throws the ball too flat-footed most of the time. He does not step into many throws. Yeah.
And if you watch him in the intermediate as well, Avery Johnson, I saw a few times today, and I don't know if it's super consistent to him. I'd have to watch more of his film. But he did this leg kick a lot in these intermediate and these short routes that are within like 7, 8 yards, sometimes even 11, 12. And it's like, if that's what you're doing to get the ball 7 yards down the field, it's just like, I just don't really see a future where that's a super reliable quarterback if you're
Completely
going
agree.
to compete for a national championship. So yeah, on the flip side of Rocco Beck, I thought there were a few throws that he made that I was like, man, that's premium. Like that's a really good throw.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't feel like it was anything where I was like, man, this is a game changing throw. I thought for him
Yeah.
it was fine. For a Rocco Beck throw, I thought he made a few really good throws. But I think when you're putting that on a scale of all of college football with all quarterbacks, just an average. He made average throws. He had great weapons around him. Sometimes that'll win you football games.
And
I agree.
more to tap into Rocco Becht, and I hate to just seem like this negative guy, but when you watch that kind of game, you really do see the negative things highlighted more than the positive plays, because when a whole half of football is filled with literally only negative plays almost, besides a good throw to Overby, you're going to have to highlight them. And Rocco Becht has my least favorite thing that I see when I watch quarterbacks, and that is being a statue. He stands in the pocket for way too long. He does not look at the check down. For some reason, he just does not want to look at the check down. I don't get it. And it's going to be a problem. You will not be able to compete if you're Iowa State. If you will not be able to compete in that Big 12 if that continues to be a problem where he just stands there in the pocket, just in the pocket. And that was against one of the better D lines in the Big 12 to me. So that does kind of help. Like, that's kind of, y'all beat one of the better D lines in the Big 12 while your quarterback is also just not the best at picking up pressure. I'm just going to be real. I'm not trying to be away from my words. But talking about the Kansas State defensive line, there was a guy that made his presence felt very early that I would like to point out. And that is Toby. I'm reading the last name so I don't say it wrong. I do not want to butcher it. Toby Osunsanmi.
Oh yeah, dude.
I wouldn't be able to guess it, bro.
Dog. Number 44, D end. Dog.
Pressure, bro.
He
Pressure all
was everywhere, especially early on. Pretty sure he's the one who generated the first sack of the game. Actually, I think he pushed his tackle to where Jared Allen could get that first sack. And then he got his own sack. And then I also think he's the one who forced the pressure to make the toss from Rocco Becht at Abu Salma's head that ended up in a fumble. So he was literally everywhere on the field. That alone from a DN, and even if it's only in one quarter, that one quarter can obviously just change the game where it was a 3-point game.
Oh yeah,
Offense
for
goes out there and
sure.
does a little more. Dylan Edwards catches a point. That right there wins you the game.
For sure, for sure.
Is there anything else that y'all would like to highlight from that game?
I want to touch on Carson Hansen for a minute because he played a few snaps of the first quarter and then he just like disappeared. And like I was already high on him to start with because I thought he like would have improved a lot. And they put him in the fourth quarter, like hasn't been seen the whole like rest of the game. That dude literally explodes in the fourth quarter. And like I don't think he had more than 15 yards until he got in the fourth quarter. And I think he ended with almost 80. And then he had a few like key catches. Key catches. He had that one that was basically the game sealing catch where he dove and didn't get an end zone, if y'all remember that.
Yes, no,
But
I agree. I'm sorry for
Yeah.
laughing at Jacob, bro. It's just Jacob,
But-
What,
bro.
bro? What
You
is
need help, dude. You need help.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're locked, bro. We're locked. We're locked.
No, moments like that are good. Moments like that are good. You know, it don't always got to be a serious
Yeah, no, that's
talk.
that's
Shout out
that's
numbers
what
on the
college
board.
football. That's a lot of what you get in college.
Just explosions from players.
Yeah,
My bad.
like game explosions.
Another player that I wanted to highlight on Iowa State because I feel like, bro, this Iowa State team has massive potential.
Especially on
Massive
defense, bro.
potential.
Especially on defense. They have
Well,
some dogs.
Another wide receiver I wanted to point out, Brett Eskeldon. Man,
Oh yeah, he
Mr.
hooped. He
Reliable.
hooped today.
Mr.
Yeah, he
Reliable. He
hooped
gives
today.
me Wes Welker, you know, not because they're white on white. I mean, he gives me Wes Welker vibes, man. Straight Wes Welker vibes, just there. He's just there when you need him. And he was.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Anything else y'all want to point out from that game? Or we can move on?
I will like to add.
Sure
I will like to add. It is week 0, I guess. But if these are your two best teams that the Big 12 is putting out, it's gonna be hard to pick that final playoff spot for a team coming out of the Big 12 because, man, that was
And we are
that was
getting
a
into
lot.
that, by the way. Later on into the podcast. We will be going over college football playoff predictions. Where I don't know how many Big 12 teams y'all had. Guess we'll find out.
Not many.
Not many for me either. All right. What's the next game I want to touch? Because that was actually the only college football game where I was fully locked into. So if y'all,
Dan Mullen had his return. I will say that. I don't know if we want to talk about that.
see,
It was
y'all
a
can talk
close
about.
one.
I don't. Me ethically, bro. I didn't watch the game, so I don't want to talk about it. I feel like it's not in my area to talk about. But y'all
It was
talk about
hard for me to get it on like a screen.
I
I mean, I
literally could
tried
not
3
find it on
different like
anything.
yeah, like I
It
couldn't
was on
find
like
anything.
it was on like the Division Network,
Yeah,
which is like.
Yeah,
But I do know
maybe
like
90 people
he
tune in.
struggled. Yeah,
no,
I just know they
couldn't find
struggled.
no
They were
play.
down most of the game, and they had like a huge play at the end to take the lead. But definitely like not your key first game as a coach to struggle with Idaho State.
I have something to touch up on. I think this just a prime example of UNLV. I think this just goes to show 24/7 and ESPN need to do a better job at star bumps. Star bumps when a certain player commits to a team.
Yeah.
They get bumped sometimes. And I think it goes to show when teams like UNLV pick up these guys. I'm sorry, Jake Pope, who ended up committing
Justin Flo.
He ended up committing to Alabama. Excuse me. He committed to Alabama, got bumped up to a 5-star, if I'm not mistaken. Never saw the field. Went to Georgia. Never saw the field, and when he did, it was not pretty. Now he ends up in UNLV, and the defense still got tossed around like it was nothing. And he's a part of that defense, so he is there to get some of the blame. Another
Yeah.
guy that hyped up. He has all hype and I'm sorry, little skill to me. Alex Orgy. That's another guy who, yeah, he is just not a good passing quarterback.
Do you see his fumble on the goal line?
Yes, I did.
Dude, how do you do that?
It's I'm not excited for UNLV at all, and I saw a lot of people put them in their group of five team for their college football and playoffs, and I can just go ahead and say that you need to remake your bracket.
I agree.
UNLV
I
is
was,
not going to be
I
that
don't
group of
even,
five team.
No.
You bought the hype, and I don't blame you. You bought the hype. It did look a little interesting. Wow, Jake Pope. Wow, Justin Flo. Wow, JoJo Earl. No. Sell your stock.
One takeaway,
Sell your
I
stock
will, I
on
will,
UNLV.
I will like to give some love to Jaden Thomas from UNLV though. He had a monster game
He
today.
hooped.
Um, I mean, he was in lights out at a point in the game. I think I checked, and he had 7 rushes, 150 or 130 yards, and 3 touchdowns or something like that. Started the first quarter off with 2 breakout runs. One of them was a 70-yarder. So I would like to give him a little bit of love, but like John said, if you're looking for good football in UNLV, you're probably not going to get a lot of it, in the nicest way possible. I mean, it's hard to believe in a team that when you're playing a team that's Idaho State that has 4 interceptions between 3 quarterbacks, and that you still allow them to put up 31 points. It's just hard to look at a team like that and expect really anything out of them.
Completely agree. Completely agree. Um, Although I will say Idaho State, if I'm not mistaken, I didn't do much research into it, but didn't they have a good record last year? Do y'all know?
I'm not super duper
Let me
familiar with
fact
them,
check
but they came
myself.
out super hot. They came out super hot and they came out throwing the ball. So, I mean, if I had to guess, just,
Let me fact
based off
check
of that,
myself. No,
they're a
they
high
went three and
tempo
eight last season.
offense.
I am completely wrong. So
Yeah. So, I mean, this is just
embarrassing performance
kind
from
of
Dan
terrible.
Mullen and UNLV, the Rebels. But
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
on it. I think it's safe to say I didn't have any stock. There was never stock in UNLV, but I will sell it. Now I will say I did have stock in Fresno State.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
even worth selling at this point. It already plummeted. It already
I
plummeted.
mean,
I really thought that last year they did not look that bad. If I'm not mistaken, the offense was always putting points up on the board. I know they lost Mikey Keene, which was obviously a more valuable loss than I estimated. Because man, Kansas just had their way. I thought it was. I picked the spread. I picked Fresno State to cover the spread, 13.9. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, it just
yeah.
not work at all.
Yeah.
Did y'all
Yeah.
watch much of that
I'm
game? Do y'all have
very,
anything to comment on it?
yeah, it's interesting, mostly because of Jalen Daniels. We do this every year, or I mean, I don't do this every year, but a lot of people do this every year where he gets, he has a few good games, and people are like, okay, this is the year, but I got to see it in like week 5, 6, because that's when you usually see him
Yeah.
start to crumble a little bit.
Either crumble
But
or
I
get
mean,
hurt.
yeah, I mean, I'll give it to him. He had a great game today, on the air or through the air, on the ground. I mean, there was really not a lot to take away from the game just because it was kind of from the start. You kind of knew that Kansas had a grip on it, it seemed like. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's a interesting team to watch because I do love their head coach. I think Lance Lightfoot is a phenomenal head coach. I think he's
Yeah.
won everywhere he's went. I think that he could make it work in Kansas. It's kind of tough the last few seasons. He has had a dual quarterback type system for, I mean, almost going on 3 years now. So, but like I said, it's a team that we watch every year and we just kind of guess what they do. It'll just depend on that week 5, 6. Like we said, will he crumble or will
Yeah.
he get injured or will he rise to the occasion?
Yeah.
So,
Completely agree. Yeah. Great point. Great point. And done with that game? Do y'all want to move on to Stanford versus Hawaii?
Yeah, we can. I'm going to touch on Jalen Daniels for just a second, though.
You're gonna
Um,
what? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's talk.
All right. Because I'm not gonna lie, I actually thought
Sponsored
it'd be
by
a
Nature
close
Valley.
game
I'm
because
sorry.
we talked about it. We thought it'd be a close game because I mean Fresno State tied the game up pretty quickly. They moved the ball down, I think, in 5 plays.
Yeah.
So I was thinking it was gonna be a close game, but then their quarterbacks started just throwing to the other team. But Jalen Daniels, I think if he can stay healthy, Kansas can make a run in the Big 12.
Yeah. No, I
That's just
definitely see it
that's how I
because I
see
feel
it.
that's always
Because
where like it drops off is like he gets hurt and then
yeah,
bye offense. I feel like that's
Yeah.
always what
'cause
happens.
I think his pocket presence is really good, and I like how he throws on the run. I think he can be a great quarterback if he can just stay healthy.
Yeah.
But
I completely agree.
Yeah.
He has the
I agree
age
with
too.
that take. Yeah.
He definitely has the age on his side. I'm not mistaken. I think he's going into his
Oh, yeah.
6th year of college football.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, not a bad thing. I didn't say anything.
It's something.
Yeah. Maybe we can talk about that on a later day when we gain more credibility. But
Yeah.
can't shoot ourselves in the foot too early.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
you want to talk about Hawaii Stanford? Because I definitely think there's 2 players that we have to highlight.
Oh yeah. Got to talk about our guy, bro. Dylan, you can go ahead. Actually, you might have watched the most of this game out of anybody.
Well, we watched a good amount of it.
Who?
Yeah, we were tuned in. But
I didn't
yeah,
watch a lot of it
Mhm.
except for like just like the little bit of the end of it. I do think Hawaii shocked me a little bit. I did think it'd be close because I didn't trust Stanford at all. Also, Frank Reich is their head coach. Thought I'd mention that. So,
Yeah.
man, that's
something.
but dude, that's something,
Former
bro.
Panther.
And then I mean
Former Panther.
Former Panther,
and
bro.
they got Andrew Luck's over there too somewhere.
Yeah, man.
What are you gonna? Is he a coordinator or is he like a?
GM.
I just saw him like
Yeah,
GM.
he basically arranges like the NIL. That's kind of what the GMs do now. Like Bama's is Courtney Morgan, so just arranging NIL, signing guys, that kind of thing. But
y'all can touch on that a little more because I think y'all watched a little bit more. I just know Stanford just disappointed. I mean,
go ahead, John. Go ahead, bro.
Right, I'm gonna talk about the
our
wide receiver,
guy.
and then you can talk about the quarterback because I think we were both very entertained by both of them. Number 5, Pofele Ashlock. Number 5, Hawaii wide receiver. Insane after the catch. Insane after the catch. He gives me NFL yak guy. All written all over him. I definitely could see a world where he's an NFL yak guy. Let me pull up his measurements. 6'2", 185. Definitely reminds me more of like a Brandon Ayuk archetype. If I had to give a comp, I don't know if he'll ever get to the status of Brandon Ayuk. Obviously, coming from Hawaii, it will be a lot more difficult. But the measurements, the yak, I was pretty damn impressed by him.
Yeah, I really like that comp for him. Ashlock, I feel like he does play kind of similar to IU. For the quarterback, bro, I had never heard of this guy until today. I'll be honest. I didn't know he was Miami starter. Micah Alahado, I think is what it is.
Yeah,
Alahado.
something in that range.
He was a dog, bro. I don't know what I mean. He was throwing dimes. He was good on the run. I would like to see a little bit better like pocket presence. I do feel like at times he kind of got swarmed, he got overwhelmed. But I think that kind of is a little bit of a tale of just being 5'10", 180 pounds is something that you kind of have to work through as a quarterback. It's just being able to adjust in that pocket. But I mean, he made some great throws down the field. He obviously missed some. Everybody does, but he made super great throws down the field under pressure, on the move. He got it where his guy needed it and turned into points. So, I mean, as a coach, you can't really ask for your quarterback to do much else, especially from a guy that I think is only a freshman, maybe sophomore, redshirt freshman. So, no, I mean, I thought that he was phenomenal at the quarterback position today. I think that Stanford defense probably needs a little bit more love than I've given it because I wasn't really sure what that was going to look like. You had Frank Reich coming in, but I
Hey.
mean, he hooped, bro.
Andrew
Stanford D
Legend.
lineman. Got to talk about him. Clay Patterson, 2 sacks on the game, 1 forced fumble. He looked great.
Yep.
He looked amazing. That's probably the only Stanford guy that I'm gonna highlight. There's
Yeah.
not a lot to highlight on the offense. Do you have anybody? I mean, Micah Ford. I'm looking at 26 carries, 113 yards, 1 touchdown, 4.3 a carry.
They have a tight end. They have a tight end. Stanford does that they mentioned pregame as like he's a guy to look for prospect wise, but I don't really remember who he was, and he didn't
He wasn't
do a
there.
lot. Yeah, I mean,
Chico Holt.
I don't really.
Chico Holt. I'm looking at him right now.
Yeah,
1
yeah,
catch,
yeah.
36 yards.
Yeah, I mean, they hyped him up. They said Stanford was really going to try and use their tight ends today, because we know that Andrew Luck was really big on using his tight ends. Frank Reich used his tight ends from time to time, so I expected to see a little bit more of him. Didn't really. I like his frame.
He definitely gets added to the list. 6'5", 250, sophomore.
Yeah,
We like
I
that.
like a lot about him, but I just didn't see enough from him today in that Hawaii Stanford game.
Yeah. I think we're done with the games. Now we will get into the first real segment: college football playoff predictions. It's a very interesting year of college football with in my opinion, the best SEC we've seen in like who knows how long. Insane SEC this year. I think the big dog in the Big Ten kind of falls off just a tad bit. And yeah, that's where I want to get into. Would anyone like to start, or what are we thinking? Who would want to start?
I can start.
Okay,
I can
bet.
start. Playoff predictions, right? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
I do want to touch on the SEC because I do think like they responded drastically after last year. I felt was a down year. If y'all would agree, last year
Yeah.
I felt was a bit of a down year.
Yeah.
I do agree that
Wait for
it's
who?
probably.
I'm sorry, I was pulling
I
up
think
my
it was
bracket.
because I think it was mainly because these teams that are now like this year we're expecting to have big years. Last year they were just figuring it out, like Florida. Like they're just now getting like this year. I think will be a huge jump for them as well as like South Carolina. So I mean, I think it'd be like the best year for the SEC since like I can remember talent wise since like 2019, 2020. Honestly, I would say
2019 was a great year for the SEC, man.
Dude,
That was
amazing.
a great.
great year. But yeah, I can go and get into my playoff bracket.
Gotcha.
All right. I'm just going to go down I'm going to go into the top 4. At 1, I got Penn State at the Big Ten. I think they're going to win the Big Ten championship, so that's why I put them at 1 as well. Then I got Texas at 2 out of the SEC. 3, I got Clemson. 4, I got Alabama. 5, I got Ohio State. 6, I got Arizona State. 7, I got Oregon. And then 8, Notre Dame. 9, I got Florida. 10, I got South Carolina. I got Texas Tech at 11. And then 12, I got Boise State. Just a few things about conference championships, just to go ahead and add on that. I got ASU out of the Big 12. I got Penn State out of the Big 10. I honestly got Texas out of the SEC. And then I got Clemson out of the ACC as my conference champions. And then obviously, I got Bama as like at the runner up. And then I think Clemson's the only one I put in the ACC. And then I've got Ohio State as the runner-up to the Big Ten as well. That's why they're at 5 as far as like conference champions goes. If y'all want to ask about that.
So you said you have Ohio State at 5, right?
Yeah.
Do you not sense a drop-off whatsoever? Because that would actually be a higher seeding than last year, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm just kind of confused about it from my end. I don't think you're wrong whatsoever, but they lost almost their entire defensive core. They lost guys like Denzel Burke, Jack Sawyer, JT, Latham Ransom, guys like that, and lost Will Howard. And I know Ohio State has voiced that replacing Will Howard has kind of been a little more challenging than I thought. Had a guy like Julian saying, 5-star out of high
Right.
school. They thought that was a for sure starter after Will Howard left. But, there was low-key a little more questions. Could Lincoln steal the spot over Sand? Then they brought in a guy late in the transfer portal from, like, a small school, like Eastern Connecticut, something like that. A quarterback from God knows where. Yeah, so it's just, I want to ask you about that. Do you not expect a little bit of a drop off, yes or no?
Just a little bit, but I do think that they will still be Ohio State. I actually got them beating Texas week one
Wow.
just because I don't know. There's something about Julian saying that I'm kind of leaning towards a little bit. And then they also got, Jeremiah Smith, Caleb Downs is out there on defense. So Ohio State's going to be Ohio State. I think Ryan Day does a really good job. And I think he's going to build off of last year. I do think you'll see like a little bit of a drop off as far as production, but I think the
Mm-hmm.
record is either going to be the same as last year or maybe better,
Okay.
personally.
Okay. I'll go out and I'll list my I'll do my 12. Number 1, I have Clemson, undefeated season. Uh, Definitely my favorite team in college football. I definitely think they're the best team in college football. When you have two guys such as Peter Woods and T.J. Parker on your D line, 99.9% of college football O lines will never be able to handle that much talent on a college football D line. It's just simple as that. Then you go up to the secondary, you got guys like Avion Terrell, and it's just that is a NFL defense, damn near. TJ Parker and Peter Woods makes that an NFL defense, who are guys who are both top 5 in my 2026 big board for the NFL draft. Number 2, Texas didn't lose too much as you thought they would. They did lose Golden, which was kind of a surprise, Matthew Golden. But defense, almost the same. Kept a guy like Michael Taft, who a lot of people thought who was going to the draft, my bad. And looking at their schedule, it is, in my opinion, one of the weaker in the SEC. I have them going 11-1. I actually have them losing the Red River Classic to Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma finally gets that done. Number 3, Penn State returned the most guys in college football, if I'm not mistaken, and got Ohio State's defensive coordinator from previous seasons. That's a huge addition. Number 4, I have Alabama. Only lost to Auburn. Not much to talk about on them. I guess the biggest question would come into, can Ty Simpson run the system? My answer is yes. I think he can run it better than Jalen Milroe. I do think he's more of a certified passer, and he just fits that system more. Number 5, Notre Dame. Little bit of a question at quarterback, but Jeremiah Love, that O-line, definitely can get it done. I will say, though, they play a little bit more comp than they usually do. I don't know if y'all peeped their schedule or not. That's something to look into. They got guys like USC, Texas A&M, NC State I see, Miami I see. It's a little interesting. Number 6, I have Arizona State, Big 12 winner. Don't see too much of a drop-off for them. Number 7, I have Oregon. QB questions come into play. I'm high on Dante Moore, though. And Dan Lanning makes it an easier offense for guys to run. We've seen it. Bo Nix, Dylan Gabriel both go there. Immediate boost up in production and stats. Georgia, 8. Hard for me to just count Kirby Smart out. It probably is one of the worst rosters he's had since he's got to Georgia. But like I said, it's Kirby Smart at the end of the day. It's hard for me to assume that he's just going to lose that many in conference games in the SEC. Number 9, I had Texas Tech. Super high on that offense, and what seems to be a weaker Big 12 to me. So I do think they could get that high. Number 10, I have LSU. Super fun offense. Defense seems to be better than what it has in the past. My only question is, can Brian Kelly actually get the job done? But with the addition of Barry and Brown, I think Aaron Anderson and Barry and Brown as a duo is almost unguardable. Yeah. Number 11, I have Boise State as my group of 5 team. feel like it's pretty easy to pick them as the Group of 5 team. Is only big losses were Ashton Ginty, Ahmad Hassan. I still don't know how to say his last name, but he was a 7th-round defensive end drafted to the NFL. Also lost Prince Strahan to USC, wide receiver, 6'5" guy, good deep threat. That's USC's a team to look out for. I'm not gonna lie, they were definitely a team that came to mind when picking my 12 teams. That offense is gonna be something with those wide receivers over there. And lastly, I have Ohio State at 12. I see about a pretty big drop off, mainly coming from QB play and replacements on defense. But I do think with the addition of Devin Sanchez, I know he's a freshman, but Devin Sanchez does make that secondary better to me. You still got guys like Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, and when you have that much superstar power, it's hard for me to count you out of the college football playoffs when star power has proven to give you that leap ahead of a lot of teams. So that rounds out my 12 teams for the college football playoffs.
Bear with me a little bit here, because I did struggle picking teams here, mostly because the way that the committee has picked teams in the last few years.
Yes.
Whenever I predict this,
Are they going
it
to
makes
factor
it
in
very.
strength of schedule?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that come into play with this stuff, and sometimes it's just what the committee wants. But I did have Clemson as my number 1 seed. They returned a lot of guys. They have 2. I mean, to me, Cade Klubnik's the best quarterback in college football right now. Great experience. He's just phenomenal. I mean, I'll be honest. Probably speaking, he's kind of my Heisman right now. If not, he's the runner-up. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot. That defense is phenomenal. It is every year. They still have like Peter Woods, So yeah, that's my 1 seed. My 2 seed, I am going to go with Texas as well. Similar to John, I really only think they dropped that Red River rivalry game. And I think they're fine. I think they'll get their bye and it'll be okay. 3rd seed, I am going to go Penn State. Mostly just because of innocent. You'll see later on. Just because I think that they're well rounded. They didn't lose a lot last year. Drew Adler adds another year of experience, which was a good year of experience. I mean, he's been solid these last 2 years. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Penn State at my 3. At my 4, I'm also gonna go with the Alabama Crimson Tide. I mean, last year was completely new team, with a guy at the helm who was multi-talented, but it wasn't an offense that he was meant to run. And they still got the 9 wins. And I think that speaks enough levels in itself that, you can have a guy that's not meant to run an offense and still get you 9 wins because you just have talent everywhere defensively, and our defense is the best thing that we're turning this year. So, I feel good to say that to me, the best defense in college football is going to make the playoff. At the 5, see, once we get past these 4, it kind of gets a little tricky. I'll
Completely
go
agree. That's
ahead.
where I was exactly.
I'll put
Yeah.
Notre Dame. Put Notre Dame at 5, mostly because we always know Notre Dame gets in. They have a little bit better of a schedule this year, but I mean they always get in. I think they'll do it again this year. I think they'll cruise and they'll be our 5 seed. 6 seed I think is where we see our Big 12 team, and I'm really between 2 teams, but I think I'm going to go with Arizona State. It's just Kenny Dillingham. I mean, granted they lost Cam Scadaboo, but I love Sam Levitt. I think he's a dog.
Jordan Tyson.
They've got guys, like they've got talent. So I think I'm going to take them at that 6. At that 7, I'm going to take USC. I do think
bro.
USC does
I
it.
love
I
that.
do think
I love
USC
that
does it.
shit, Jacob.
I like that receiving core, man. That receiving core is nice. I mean, Lincoln Riley, he sometimes he can shit the bed, but for the most part, the guy, I mean, for the most part, the guy wins football games. He puts out offense. He puts out production. And I think he'll get to the playoff this year. I mean, we saw the guy make a 14 playoff. So why can't he make a 12? So for that 7 spot, I think I'm actually
No, you're at
not going
8.
to count out
7 was
Kirby
USC.
Smart. I'm at 8. I'm at 8.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna go Georgia at this 8 spot.
Gotcha.
I just can't count out Kirby. That's what it is. I mean, I don't love a lot about that team right now. I think it's going to be a lot of development for that team, but I just can't count out Kirby. They consistently have one of the better offensive lines in the country every single year. So I'm going to bank on the things that get them to the playoffs every year. I'm going to bank on it again. I'm going to say that's my 8. At that 9 seed, that matchup is my Big 12. It's going to be my ASU. Or no, I already said ASU. It's going to be Oklahoma, actually. My 9 seed is going to be Oklahoma. We're going to have 4 SEC teams in the playoffs this year.
Wow.
Yes, I'm picking Oklahoma over Florida. I think Florida's going to be a really good team. I think that I got to see it from DJ Lagway. I haven't really seen it yet. Oklahoma brought in John Mateer, and I think he's phenomenal, really. I mean, I think he does a lot of things great. Now, the toughest thing with Oklahoma that will depend everything is health, and if that offense can get the ball rolling. I mean, granted, health was majority of the reason last year, but I mean, since Venables has came in, the defense is standout, but we haven't really seen the offense get rolling or get going.
I just feel like Venables can't find that guy to run the offense, man. It's just, can he do it?
Yeah,
Can he do it?
yeah.
And I definitely think John
So
Mateer is the most talented quarterback that he's had.
yeah, and I thought Jackson Arnold was good, but I think Mateer just is kind of another level of Arnold. But nonetheless, that's gonna be my spot there. They're gonna match up together. My 10th seed is where it gets kind of chippy a little bit, because is there a possibility of a second ACC team? Do I think that there's another Big Ten team making it? I don't know, but I do have Boise State as my group of 5, so
Gotcha.
I will get that out of the way. I just don't think there's another group of 5 team that really can live up to that. I
Dylan,
think
who was
there's
your group
some
of
good
5?
teams.
I'm sorry.
Boise State. Boise State. Yeah, I mean they've already been there once. The committee will think about them. If they do what they have to do, win football games, and do it convincingly, I don't see a reason why they don't get picked to go back. So now for 11 and 12, this is really where I'm really stuck at, because you have teams like Oregon who are perennial, like every year they're perennial, just top of their conference, top of the league. But I mean, do we really think that that's going to be that 11 seed? I'm not sure. A sleeper team I could see coming out of the Big Ten. That low key, it didn't pique my interest really until John said something earlier, and then it got my gears rolling.
Oh, I know who he's
I think
talking about.
Nebraska, bro. I think Nebraska is talented. Scott Frost is really gonna have, or no, it's no, it is Scott Frost,
No,
right?
Mark Rule.
Yeah. Matt Rule.
Matt
Matt
Rule. My bad.
Rule
My
in,
bad.
in Nebraska, that's what it is. Yeah, I mean, I
Man,
think Matt Rule can get it going. I mean, he's made teams great before in college. We've seen what he's done with plenty of teams. I mean, he made Temple a good football team, like so. It'll mostly just be about figuring it out, getting it together, hoping that Dylan Raiola in his second year can not throw as many touchdowns as interceptions. That's what I'm banking on a lot right here. But I mean, the team's talented on both sides of the ball. They have good coaching staff, and they're in a competitive conference that they'll win enough games that they'll get into the
so
playoff.
you do have Nebraska over Oregon and Ohio State, just to be clear.
Well, that's because I have Ohio State sneaking in last. It's a
Gotcha.
very Power 5, Power 4 heavy college football playoff bracket, granted, but I do think the committee might take a look at, like last year, they put in like SMU, who is Power 4, but they're not a team that's, when you think Power 4, you look at and you're like SMU. They put in Indiana, who to me, not a team that you really look at when you look at Power 4 and say, man, this is the team. So I think the committee may pick a little bit different because they do tend to pick different on a year-to-year basis. And I think judging off of last year, I think that they do go with a heavier Power 4 favored playoff with a little bit more star power. I don't think they leave Jeremiah Smith out if he's right there. So yeah, I mean, that's my power four heavy college football playoff bracket.
Yeah. So, before we get into further into our brackets, I would like to point out sleepers that I do think can make it. Jacob, you had a lot more fun with yours than me. I kind of went like the more basic route. I kind of just picked like the favorite
Yeah.
of teams. Um, I see a Big 12 team in mind that I'm a little shaky on, Texas Tech. I am not, and this is gonna be one of my sleepers. I would not be surprised if Baylor won the Big 12.
Nah, that's fair,
I
dude.
actually, in my schedule prediction, I'm sorry, Dylan, I have Baylor starting off hot. I have them beating Auburn week 1 at Baylor, 7 p.m. game. I think Baylor gets it done. Sawyer Robertson is a guy that we really got to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then another sleeper team that you had, USC. I cannot wait to watch USC games. I kind of went more of the factor, and I am kind of being hypocritical here. I went more of the factor. I don't think Lincoln Riley can get it done yet. I do have Brian Kelly in my playoffs, but I do think that LSU team is just naturally more talented than that USC team on a position to position basis. Yeah. Now, anything that y'all want to point out, any sleepers? Also, ACC. I want to ask y'all a question. If there was 2 ACC teams in it, which there probably will be, because they're gonna do it. Who do y'all think would be the second ACC team sneaking in? I got mine. I just want to hear y'all's.
I
I'll go
two
first.
options.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go ahead. I
I'll
have
go
two
first.
options.
This is actually one of my sleepers out of the ACC, Georgia Tech. Just gonna say it.
Bang.
I'm a big Haynes King fan.
Bang.
I think last year he showed that he really fits under Bill O'Brien. No, not Bill O'Brien's offense. I'm trying to think of the name of Georgia Tech's coach.
Brent Key.
Brent,
That's
Brent,
the point that I was gonna point
yeah,
out.
dog,
But
man.
he
Great
played
coach.
super well. I thought he played big in games, especially in
Mhm.
Dublin against Florida State. I thought that stood out. But he also towards the end of the year battled a little bit of injuries, was kind of healthy, not healthy. And so they're dealing with that. But I think a full year of him healthy can really be dangerous, even though they lost like Eric Singleton, which was his wide receiver. But I do think that Georgia Tech is a sleeper
So
Yeah,
as an ACC.
that's exactly
that
what
was a
I was gonna
sleeper.
point out, and I really think it comes down to the fact Brent Key will make a game look so fucking ugly, even if it makes his team look worse. He will find a way to win. Florida State,
Yeah,
although Florida State ended up looking awful, I think that has a lot to do with how bad Brent Key made that first game look. I think that completely ruined morale in that Florida State locker room because Brent Key is not scared to make his own team look bad to win a fucking football game, man. He he will make it fucking hideous. He will ruin the score. He will win 3-0 if it means the other team will not get the ball. He will do stuff like that. And Haynes King is the perfect quarterback like that because Haynes King, he has a weird it's a weird play style, don't y'all think?
Yeah, I think
it's
he's one of those
it's
guys that
They
can get
fit.
you
It's a
300
QB
yards
head
or he can
coach
get you
duo that
75
just
and win
fits
the game.
perfect, bro. They match each other perfectly, I feel like. I don't know.
I
yeah.
agree.
Another ACC team
Georgia
I'm
Tech was
looking at
for
is
sure.
Louisville. Just want to point that out.
Georgia Tech was for sure up there for me. A guy that I would not be surprised if his team gets back in there as a sleeper. They got dog walked at times last year, but SMU. I mean, they're bringing back Kevin Jennings, who had a great year last year. I mean, to me, he was one of the better quarterbacks in the ACC last year. He runs an offense that's not really too simple or too difficult. I feel like gets his guys open, gets home yardage. Biggest problem is obviously when they got to the playoff last year, he kind of shit down his leg. And then, he came out the half and he looked a little bit better. He ran the offense a little bit smoother. He made some better passes. But, I mean, that Clemson pressure really ate him alive. And he could not really focus until, he stepped out in that second half and he could run the offense. But I think that regular season wise, I don't think that they're going to play 2 incredibly difficult games in the ACC. I think that they could cruise back to the ACC championship. Now, if they see Clemson, I can't promise that the same thing won't happen again.
It's gonna be the
But
same, and I actually
you
think it'll
know
be a
what
lot
I'm
more
saying?
lively.
So yeah, that's a team I had as a sleeper. And another one. I mean, bro, don't laugh here, bro. I legit think that Bill Belichick and
Okay,
UNC have a chance to win a lot of games in the ACC.
Dylan did
They
not
just
like
brought in
UNC.
Gio Lopez. I mean, they brought in Gio Lopez. He's a better quarterback than Auburn's had in 5 years. I'm just kidding. They brought in Gio Lopez, and he's a hooper, bro. I mean, he really is a hooper. They've got talent there, man. I mean, they just churned out Omarion Hampton. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
let's not forget they have people act like North Carolina can't recruit blue chips. North Carolina can still recruit blue chips. Now they have a 6-time Super Bowl champion, one of the greatest to ever do it,
Mm-hmm.
coaching the football team. They still have, they still have guys on that roster. It'll be interesting how they're going to develop them. I don't really see them being a 9-win team this year, but I do think they can get 8 wins this year, and they can look like a team that we're saying in a year, okay, that's a legitimate sleeper. But I'll watch out for that. I mean, I think that he deserves enough respect as a coach because of his NFL pedigree. You see NFL guys go struggle in the NFL, come down to college football, dominate, go back and get him an NFL job all the time. This is the greatest coach of all time. I don't see how he can't come to the college football, even though it is a new landscape. I don't see how he can come to college football and struggle too bad. But that's me. Those are my 2 ACC sleepers. I'd say Will as Georgia Tech. I would add that because
No Florida
Brent
State.
Key's phenomenal, bro. I'm saying this right now, bro. Florida State is not winning 4 games this year. Guarantee it.
I
Guarantee it,
like
bro.
it.
They're going to be as bad as last year,
I
bro.
like it.
Guaranteed.
I like it. They got a good D line, but they did last year as well. So it didn't really.
It's a Mike Norvell thing.
Oh, he does not like. Jacob looks hot after I mentioned Florida State, bro. He looks like he wants to punch a hole in the wall.
I actually disagree with them. I think they're one of my ACC sleepers. But
Can you tell me why?
I actually am a Tommy Castellanos fan. I thought
What
that
strikes out about
I,
Thomas Castellanos for you?
he's
Because
a
I
dual
don't
threat
see it.
quarterback. I don't think that it was the right fit at Boston College. I think pairing him with Gus Malzahn as, as his OC could work. Could work. Keyword could work. But we'll see. But I wouldn't be shocked if it ended up working just because of Gus Malzahn's track record with dual threat quarterbacks. But if it ends up just exploding, I wouldn't be
What about
surprised either.
KJ
But they're
Jefferson
just
last year?
Where's KJ Jefferson at?
he was
Nowhere.
Seriously? Oh my God.
I mean, I'm just saying that's a dual threat quarterback with Gus Malzahn. I mean,
yeah, but I think Gus going back to offensive coordinator, which is what he I think thrived in more than as a head coach. I think that will benefit Tommy a lot more, especially because he's strictly can control the offense. So we'll
I don't know if
see.
you know this.
Um,
Tommy and Gus have history together.
oh yeah, because I
He
know he was
originally
trying to
committed to
recruit him
UCF.
yeah, he was recruiting him heavily at UCF.
Jacob, what are you looking at that makes you want to laugh?
Bro, this cannot be real or they're talking about somebody else. It's telling me on Google that KJ Jefferson plays for the Sacramento State Hornets and he's number 28 safety. This has got to be a lie. It can't be real, bro. It cannot be real.
I gotta search it up. KJ Jefferson, quarterback.
Unless
Where
they
is
just
he?
have the same name, dude. He is a safety for the
He
Sacramento.
can't be,
Dude,
bro. He can't be.
he can't, bro. There's no way. Y'all might go outside and do a fucking front flip, bro.
I would watch that.
He graduated. He's not
You
even
probably
in. No,
watching
he's
too.
not in. He's not in college no more. He graduated. That is
Google's
not
lying
him.
to me, bro. Let me see. Let me see
That
what
is
number
not him.
28 KJ Jefferson looks like.
It can't be, bro, because I'm looking at it right now. He
Damn,
graduated.
bro. No, there is a KJ Jefferson, but this is not KJ
Yeah.
Jefferson. This
I'm
motherfucker
searching him
looks
up.
like
I
he should have been on
literally
the
do not
wire.
know where he is.
I think he's probably in Mississippi, fucking driving a Hellcat and
Dude.
working at a factory. Bro, I know.
Okay.
Let me because I used to follow the dude on Snapchat. I don't know how. I have no idea how. He showed up in my subscriptions one day. Swear to God. He beats like a solid team, a SEC team, ranked team like 2 years ago, maybe 2, 3 years ago. I get on Snapchat. I see KJ Jefferson's story. I click on KJ Jefferson's story. It's him listening to rap music, rapping the words, driving around in his Hellcat for 6 or 7 snaps, bro. What do
Wait,
you think I expect him to be doing
how many snaps?
for like oh, for like 6 to 8, for like 6 to 8, bro?
Dylan, please turn your light on. We cannot see you. Thank you.
But yeah, okay. I mean, I'm not gonna say you're wrong, Dylan, for that because it would be kind of insane for Florida State to be as bad as they were last year. I'm kind of coming from a hating standpoint because I'm not a Thomas Castellanos fan, and he kind of talks out of his ass a lot. Now I understand what you're getting at with the dual quarterback, because we have seen Gus Malzahn turn some guys into dual quarterbacks that should not have even touched the football as a quarterback. Nick Marshall. Um, so like I will give you I'll give you leeway there in that sense. But
Big
I
boy.
just don't know if Thomas Castellanos is the one. Just because when you're playing at Boston College and you're struggling to start at Boston College, then it's really like, okay, what is our ceiling? We're 5'9". We don't have incredible arm talent. And I mean, we're quick, we're fast, we're good. We're good in terms of knowing when to run with the ball and when to not sit there and just take hits. But it's tough because he's going into a conference where he's in the ACC. It's not the SEC, obviously, but he's going to see a lot of big bodies. He's going to see, which actually I think Boston College is in the ACC, not. So maybe I'm
It is. It
bullshit,
is.
but it's like he's going to see a lot of bigger bodies. It's gonna, I think, end up coming back to him. Like, he's opening his season against Alabama. Now
Okay,
I'll
that's
be
not KJ.
honest.
Okay. Sorry,
I'll be
somebody
honest.
sent me a picture.
Yeah, bro, that motherfucker like he
Yeah,
should be
that
on
is
the
not
wire,
KJ
bro.
Jefferson.
That is not KJ Jefferson, bro. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think you're wrong. I think this is what predictions are for. So we'll see, bro. We'll see. But I'll tell you one thing, boy. Roll damn Tide, and we are about to crush Thomas Castellanos, bro. We
I
are
completely
about to
agree.
crush him for 4 quarters, bro.
That
But
dude has
that's
literally
the Bama.
put quotes for us to just pin on a bulletin board every day we walk into practice. I guarantee you, there's no way that we do not
But I
have his
don't think it's a
quotes
bad.
pinned on a bulletin board.
I don't think it's a bad pick at all, though. I mean, that we're talking about sleepers, so a team
Yeah.
that was probably the worst they've been since.
Now, like, if you said Stanford, I would probably kick you off the fucking Discord right now. But you said Florida State.
Yeah, it's reasonable because you know where they've been before. So
All right. Do y'all want to get into going deeper into the playoffs? Do y'all want? I could start. I would love to start this. Um, I'm gonna start this because
did we before we get into the NFL? Did we want to talk about QB1? Who we think our QB1 is right now,
well, I was
and
gonna
who
do my
some guys
start
are
my
that we think could
bracket.
take it. Oh yeah, we gotta get our bracket together, bro. We gotta do our
So
yeah. Go
I'm
ahead, do
gonna
that. Go
tell
ahead, do
y'all.
that.
So for my 5 to 12 matchup in my bracket, it would be Notre Dame versus Ohio State. Instant classic. I do
Yeah.
think um, Notre Dame ends up taking that game. I just think they are the better overall team. And I do like Marcus Freeman more than Ryan Day. Although, and not to mention, Ohio State also lost both their coordinators this offseason. They replaced their defensive coordinator with
Yeah.
Matt Patricia. I do not know who the new offensive coordinator is off the top of my head, but it is Matt Patricia as the defensive coordinator now. Not a bad hire. He's kind of just shit the bed in his last couple
Oh, it's
jobs.
Hardline, isn't it? Is it
Brian Hartline,
Hardline?
I thought he was just wide receiver coach. Did he get upgraded?
Did he get upgraded?
I don't know. If you would like to fact check real quick, you can.
Brian Hartline is coordinator for the OSU Buckeyes, so they
Wow.
will be
Okay, so
throwing the shit out of the football. We
they
know
will be
that. They will be
and it's
throwing the ball.
Julian Sand, so that kind of makes me even more.
Yeah, they will be throwing the ball.
Okay, which would leave me at Notre Dame versus Clemson is the 5-1 matchup, and I will be going Clemson to make it to the semifinals. Next up, my 9-8 would be Texas Tech versus Georgia. I think the athletes in the SEC are just naturally stronger, naturally more advanced than the Big 12 athletes. I would go Georgia over Texas Tech, which would give me Texas versus Georgia for the 1,000th time it feels like in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
I think Sark gets the job done this time. I just think that Texas team is just a lot more better than Georgia, and I do think Texas improves at quarterback, which is obviously the most important position on the football field. Yeah, so give me Texas and that. Now my 11-6 would be Arizona State versus LSU. That's a game. I think I'm leaning more towards LSU for the simple fact, Aaron Anderson, Barry Brown. I am really banking on those two to just run past defenses this year. Just run past defenses. I mean, the speed is just ridiculous. Now, that would put me at LSU versus Penn State. I'm going Penn State there. I just like the defense more. I think it's more of a balanced attack, and I don't think Brian Kelly would be able to keep up, although James Franklin has shown to not be that much better in bigger games than Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
But I do like James Franklin more than Brian Kelly, and I think I trust, honestly, it's crazy for me to say this, I trust Drew Law more than Garrett Nussmeier to protect the ball. Nussmeier has a bad track record of just giving the other team the football. And Penn State, like I said in the past, returned the most guys in college football last year, if I'm not mistaken. Which leaves me at my 10-7 matchup, which is Oregon versus Boise State. Oregon versus Boise State. We saw that matchup last year. Boise State almost pulled it off with Ashton Jeanty. Now, Boise State does have Jambres Dubar in replacement of Ashton Jeanty. I do think he's really good, but I do not think he is Ashton Jeanty. Therefore, I will be going Oregon over Boise State, which gives me Oregon versus Alabama as a 7-4 matchup, and I will be going the Alabama Crimson Tide. I think our defense would just outmatch the offense at the end of the day. Which leaves me is, no surprise, my semifinals is the top 4 seeds in my bracket, because I genuinely think they are just obviously the 4 best teams in college football. Now, in this case, do the 1 and the 2 play each other in the semifinals in the college football bracket? Or is it...
It'd be 1 versus 4 and 3 versus 2.
Yeah, the 1 and 2 could play in the Natty, but that would be it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And which would leave me Clemson versus Alabama, and
Oh, dude.
that is my
Oh,
national
bro.
championship game. I hate to see it.
I'm kind of dreaming. I'm kind of dreaming for that, bro. That's a childhood throwback. I'm kind of dreaming for that,
Yeah,
bro.
I want to see it in the national championship game.
I would
But
love to see that.
now this is my national championship game. I think whoever wins this does take it all. It's hard for me. I'm an Alabama fan, bro. I really want to lean towards Alabama. They have a wide receiver core this time to match up with us. They really do have wide receivers out there. I really like Cade Klubnik. He's shown that, I mean, outside of that Georgia game, he's shown what he can do. Now
He'll be throwing against the best secondary.
Now
He
that
will be
is the
throwing
best
against
secondary
the
in college
secondary.
football.
He will be.
I genuinely do believe, though, that the Alabama Crimson Tide pull it out on top for the simple fact we've seen the trio of Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, and Jamarcus Shepard construct an offense that can get you to the national championship even if your defense does not show up. For example, Washington versus Tennessee. Now, that leaves me to Texas versus Penn State. I'm going Texas. I just think Texas is the better team, which gives us an SEC championship game of Texas versus Alabama, where we get Kalen DeBoer versus Steve Sarkisian, part 3, I believe. I think DeBoer is 2-0, and which will make DeBoer 3-0 because Alabama Crimson Tide will be your national champions. Any questions?
No, I mean, listen, bro. I'm never gonna question the Alabama Natty. Never question the Alabama Natty. But I would,
My
I would
guys
like
over
to ask.
Clemson.
I would like to ask. I would like to ask because it doesn't seem like you have a lot of upsets, um, really at all. Do you? I mean, do you see a world where maybe some of those teams in your first round playoff might upset one of those better
Let me
teams?
look at
One of
my
them has an
guys. Let
off
me look
night.
at my guys. So I did have LSU over Arizona State, which on a numerical seeded matchup, technically LSU is the upset over
Yeah,
who would be my Big 12 champions. So that is an upset that I have. And then I
yeah,
also
yeah.
had who did I have? I had Notre Dame and Ohio State. I went with Notre Dame. Um who did I have with the 8 and 9 was Georgia versus 8 and 9 was Georgia versus Texas Tech. I did have Georgia, and then Oregon versus Boise State. Now I do see a world where Boise State would end up winning, but they couldn't get it done last year with Ashton Jeanty. And like I've said in the past, I don't think Oregon's offense with Dan Lanning will ever take a drop
Yeah.
off because I just think Dan Lanning creates such a perfect system for quarterbacks to come into. So I do have one upset. I see a world where Boise State could get it done, but if they couldn't get it done with Ashton Jeanty, I don't see them getting it done with Jambrez Dubar, respectfully. Now, you do know I'm a big Jambrez Dubar fan.
Yeah.
I see a world where Texas Tech beats Georgia for the simple fact they're going to have more of an up-tempo offense, but Kirby Smart's shown that he can slow down an offense just like that and flip the tide. If Gunnar Stockton could just manage the game, I do think Georgia would be able to pull that one out on top. And obviously there's a world where Ohio State beats Notre Dame off the simple fact they have Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs. But Notre Dame also has guys that match up in that superstar ability and Jeremiah Love, Jaden Greathouse. They got their guys too.
They got Leonard on defense. Got Leonard Williams,
Yep.
bro.
They
I
they
mean, that's
got
a
their
really good.
superstars, man. Don't sleep on Notre Dame just because they're figuring out their quarterback situation. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't even that high on Riley Leonard, and he got them to the Natty. So I
Yeah,
genuinely believe that as long as you have your guys in college football, the quarterback, regardless, can get you to where. I mean, Quinn Ewers, Riley Leonard, guys that I'm not high on in general, and they got to the semifinals, championship, all that. I am regretting picking Alabama over Clemson already. But I already said it. I'm just gonna roll with my guys. Did that answer your questions?
Dylan, do you? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Dylan, do you want to go ahead and do yours, or do you want me to go?
I can go into mine.
About
So out of the first round, I got Ohio State beating Boise State as my group of 5. And then I got Florida beating Notre Dame.
You had
I'm a
Boise
DJ
State beating who?
Lagway. I had Ohio State beating
Oh,
Boise
okay,
State.
okay.
And then Florida beating Notre Dame. I think DJ Lagway is going to be that guy. I think he's going to take a jump. Then I got Arizona State beating Texas Tech. And then I got South Carolina beating Oregon. I'm a Lenore Sellers fan. I'm a Shane Beamer fan. I think that offense is going to be electric with Lenore Sellers healthy. And then I got Alabama beating Ohio State, Penn State beating Florida, Clemson beating Arizona State, and then Texas beating South Carolina. So the final 4 would be Bama versus Penn State, Clemson versus Texas, and then I got the national championship being Penn State versus Clemson with Clemson winning.
Wait, you have Penn State beating Alabama?
Hmm.
Can I ask why?
All the talent that Penn State's brought back. I think Nick Singleton is going to have an explosive year. I also think Drew Aller is going to be I don't think he's going to be like insane, but I think he's going to do enough to where if he has to win a game with his arm, he can win a game with his arm. I just think that experienced team going through the semis will carry them to the natty.
What's the main knock on Alabama for you? Like, what do you think that Alabama just does not do well as Penn State for Penn State to come out on top against them?
I'm just kind of, it's just a question with Ty Simpson sort of thing. It's like, I don't know what he is yet. And I think obviously like he's experienced, but he's also inexperienced in those big games because he's never started in big games yet.
Gotcha.
So I think that semifinal, like being his first semifinal, I think you'll see a lot of inconsistencies, which would lead to a Penn State win.
That's completely fair.
But I could be wrong.
No, that's completely fair.
Well, obviously, we haven't seen him play yet, so we don't know what he is.
Do you think if we get to around week 7 and we see Ty Simpson just doing kind of similar to like what Will Howard did last season for Ohio State, does that change your opinion on Alabama whatsoever?
I'd say so.
Like, do you think
I definitely think
if Ty Simpson can keep up with just game manager production, do you think Alabama can win it all?
I think they can.
Okay.
I think week 1 is definitely going to show a lot, especially being no matter how good Florida State is, that environment is going to be insane for a week 1 matchup against Alabama. So seeing how he handles that next week will be a key for me to see what he'll end up being. If he handles it well and he just goes out there and does his thing and y'all run away with the game, then hey, we'll see. But
gotcha. Okay. Hey, I'm not mad at it. You had Clemson winning it all, correct? Got you. I mean, easily.
That's a fair pick. That's a fair pick.
All right, Jacob.
I think my 12 and 5 seed was Ohio State to 12 and Notre Dame at the 5.
Same as me.
Another classic. I think I do want to take Ohio State here, mostly just because of the star power. I do really like Jeremiah Love, obviously. I'm not super high on CJ Carr, but I'm also not super.
Wait, did you mean?
No, I'm saying.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah. I do think I'm taking Ohio State, but I do think Notre Dame can come out to play. Like, I'm not the highest on CJ Carr, but we also haven't seen a ton of tape on CJ Carr, so it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
We just got to see. But I'm gonna take Ohio State. I'm gonna assume they figure it out. Teams like that at the top usually do kind of figure it out a lot, especially come playoff time. So I'm gonna take Jeremiah Smith and Ohio State at 12-5, 9-8. Who did I have at 9 and 8, bro? Oh my gosh, I want to say it was USC, and
you said I don't know if you said
was that the USC Oklahoma?
Correct. Yeah.
I think I have this as a USC Oklahoma matchup.
Oklahoma. Also, what's our time at right now? Do you know what our time is at?
Hour and 18 minutes.
Hour 18. Okay.
I think we can.
Yeah.
We'll get to about 2 hours, I think.
Okay, I was gonna say we could either do that or we could do the NFL as like a separate thing.
Okay.
Because we've been like really strong in college for this one. I think that would be good. It's up to y'all.
All right. We could let's do this and then we'll see how we're feeling after.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean my 9-8 Oklahoma USC. It's kind of a weird matchup. But I mean I'm interested in it. I think that this gives an opportunity for either team that I probably wouldn't have expected to make it. So I'll probably go USC here, honestly, and trust Lincoln Riley over Venables, get a playoff win. 11-6 matchup. I want to say I had Nebraska at my 11. And at my 6, is that where I put my Big 12, my Arizona State? Yeah, I'm gonna call it here for Nebraska. I've never seen Matt Rule in that level of a game. I have seen Kenny Dillingham do it with Sark. He's battled, so I'm gonna take Kenny Dillingham and Arizona State there. My 10-7, I think was Penn State, and my 10 spot was picked 4 SEC teams. Hold on, bro. Who was my 10 spot, bro? I'm drawing a crazy blank. I don't remember who my 10 spot was, but I'm taking Penn State either way it goes. I mean, they're just gonna win. They're gonna win that matchup. Penn State's brought too much back. I mean, that's just what it is. Drew Aller, he's experience another year. So now we get into the meat, Ohio State and
Let's
my
get into
4
the
was
what?
Bama. We get into the meat, bro.
Gotcha. Let's get into
Uh,
that meat.
so it's Ohio State and Bama. I don't really. I'm going to take Bama here. I mean, there is some concerns I have for Alabama, like when we meet a team that has a very consistent, dominant run game that can shed time off the clock. Can we respond to that? We have a very deep backfield, probably the deepest we've had in a minute. But I just don't know how we're going to respond to a team that can take time, keep our offense off the field. Will we be able to reciprocate that, or is it just going to kind of be like, okay, we got to go out, throw a bunch of touchdowns? But I do see us taking that game. USC is going to see Clemson. That's going to be shootout. I'm going to take Clemson. I just think Clemson's best team in college football right now.
I genuinely don't think that USC O-line could come up with literally anything. They could have had an extra O-lineman on the field. I don't think they stopped T.J. Parker and Peter Woods in that game.
Yeah, no, I mean that's going to be hard for anyone to beat. I mean, maybe Alabama. Maybe Alabama's O line, but yeah. So I'm gonna take Clemson there. I mean, that's just too much. 11-6. I had Arizona State versus my 3 seed was. Did I pick Texas here? No. I picked Texas at 2. My 3 seed, bro. Man, you want to talk about drawing a blank right now, bro? I'm drawing a crazy blank.
You had Clemson. You had Penn State in your 3rd seed, I thought.
Oh yeah, I did. I don't. Then who did I have in my 7, bro?
Come on, Jacob. Why are we not prepared?
Right, bro. Right, bro.
Shame on
It's
him,
like
Dylan.
leaking out of my now.
Shame on him.
Right, dude. So it's Penn State ASU here. Penn State's brought a lot back. Penn State still looks, I mean, like they do every year. I don't really expect Drew Aller to get much better. I think he's kind of hit his peak as a quarterback, at least in college. I mean, I don't know what that development looks like when he gets to the pros, but I mean, last year he to me what Drew Aller is, and maybe he can level up from this. I see him as a very, very good game manager. Like he's got all kinds of intangibles. He can get a lot of things done. He can come up with really big plays. But to me, I see him as a guy that is just going to do what he needs to get his offense going, get the ball moving. So I think they're going to beat Arizona State here, and they're going to go see. I have Georgia. My 7 was Georgia, bro. I didn't say Georgia. That's who it was. So I picked Penn State at 7 when it was actually supposed to be Georgia.
Yeah.
Um, but I still don't remember who my 2 seed is, bro.
It's Texas. Because we had the same top 4. We actually had the same top 6.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was Texas. So Georgia, Texas. We get that all the time, bro. I think you can really go either or here. I'm gonna go Sark because he has more. To me, he's got the better quarterback. Now we haven't really seen it yet from Arch, but we haven't really seen it yet from Gunnar Stockton. But me, I know I'm gonna take Arch here. Just kind of guy I am. I'm gonna take Arch, and I'm gonna take Texas to win that game. Now we move on to the playoff semifinal. We have Bama and Clemson. Like I said, I mean, but this is actually a really good matchup for Alabama because Clemson's not a super run heavy team. They do like to air the ball out a lot. They have one of the better quarterbacks in college football, so why not? So this isn't a team that I'm really super concerned about taking time off the clock, making our offense cold. So I think that Bama actually can beat Clemson, but I don't know if it will happen just because the experience level isn't quite there yet. Now, we do have a lot of experience we're bringing back on defense, but we do have a lot of first year, second year guys that, we'll have to see if they've really made that step as we get closer to college football playoff.
I'd like to add a note on that game. I really do think it comes down to can just Ty Simpson protect the ball. If Ty Simpson can just protect the football, he doesn't even have to match Cade Klubnik in passing yards. As long as because I know our secondary will get turnovers. The Alabama secondary
Yeah.
will force turnovers because you got to throw it at somebody, and then you're choosing between Damani Jackson, Xavier Brown, Dijon Lee, Cam Calhoun, Deshaun Jones, Bray Hubbard, Keon Sabb. I mean, the list could go on and on.
Bro,
Fifth-year
still got
linebacker
Xavier
Deontay
Mincy.
Lawson. Bro, you got to pick somebody to throw to.
You got Nakai Hill Green. I mean,
Nikhai Hill
bro,
Green,
it's
you have to throw it to somebody.
Quay Russaw. I mean, bro, it's I mean, dog, we could just keep going. So yeah, I mean that's a tough game, but I do think I'm going to take Cape Klubnik and the experience. I'm going to take Dabo to go to the national championship there. On the other end, it's Texas versus who did I say? Texas versus Penn State.
Correct.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna just go Texas here straight out. I like Drew Aller. I think he's good. I think he can get the job done for the most part, but I don't know if he's a national championship quarterback. Now I do say that Riley Leonard and Will Howard was our national championship matchup last year at quarterback, but I mean I just don't expect a huge jump from Drew Aller. So I'm gonna take Texas there, and then that will have me at Clemson and Texas for a national championship. Um, and I mean, I'm kind of torn here because Texas can run the football, and they can take time away and make that Clemson offense sit on the sideline. They can make Cade Klubnik have to warm up a bit. So, I mean, I think that will make a little bit of a difference. I think Texas is bringing back a lot. You like you said, you would have expected them to lose more. I do think that the losses on the O line. Um, aren't ideal, but I think that's just the thing with college football. They always have good guys on the line, so they'll be right back where they were in terms of that. But yeah, I'm gonna take Texas in this national championship. I've never really been a Sark guy, at least as a head coach. I loved him at Bama. I've always liked him as a coordinator, but I mean, I've just never really loved him as a head coach. But I think he gets it done against Dabo Sweeney.
Gotcha. Okay, so now we kind of have to combine because on Instagram we're gonna make a graphic. I'm gonna make graphics for Dylan's bracket, my bracket, your bracket, and then we're gonna have a combined bracket to where like we kind of like combine our brackets and we kind of just pick down to. So I think we all had similar top fours, if I'm not mistaken: Clemson, Texas, Penn State, Alabama. Correct?
Yeah.
Do y'all just want to run with that top four in that order, or do y'all
Done.
want to switch it around?
Texas, Clemson,
I think it's fine.
Texas, Clemson,
It
Penn
was
State,
Clemson
Alabama.
1
Yeah.
seed, Texas 2 seed, Penn State 3 seed, Alabama 4 seed. Now, let me get down here just 1 second, because I'm gonna
5
make a
through
new one.
12, it gets interesting.
Yep.
5 through 12 get interesting.
Now, for my 5, me and Jacob both had Notre Dame. Dylan, who'd you have for 5? Yeah, you check.
Ohio State's.
Ohio State. Is there anything would y'all like to? Dylan, tell me why Ohio State should be the 5 seed, and then I feel like that's kind of a good way where we can. Tell me why.
I mean, obviously you lose Will Howard, but I think bringing in Julian Sayin, who was a former 5-star, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean Ryan Day, I don't think will ever get under 10 or 11 wins. Honestly, he's done a really good job at Ohio State. I think the struggle will probably be to see what Julian Sayin is, but obviously you still got Caleb Downs on defense, and you got Jeremiah Smith on offense, who you can't even deny. All you have to do is throw the ball up to him. So if Julian Sayin struggles, that's on him. He's got weapons, but we'll see. I mean, I trust Ryan Day. I trust Jeremiah Smith and the stars they got around him. So,
gotcha. Okay, that's good reasoning. Where'd you have Notre Dame at? I'm curious.
Notre Dame,
because I feel like the average is.
I had them at 8.
Okay.
Just because obviously they do have a tougher schedule this year. I think Miami week 1 at Miami is going to be a test. I honestly don't think they win that game. Just because of the experience of Carson Beck in the SEC, I just think that would be a slip up.
You had Notre Dame 8. Did we all have Arizona State 6?
I think we all had
yeah.
Y'all want to bump Arizona State up to 5 and drop Notre Dame to 6?
We can do that. We can do that out of the because I think they'll win the Big 12
Gotcha.
for sure.
Okay.
Bro, Boise State was who I had at number 10 or something,
Yeah.
bro. That's who I had as my group of 5. I forgot. That's why I forgot about him, dude.
No, that makes a lot of sense. So now we're at number 7. We had Arizona State 5, Notre Dame 6. Who I had Oregon 7. Jacob, who did you have?
At my 7 spot. Who do we have at 6?
Notre Dame.
Arizona State. Oh, we had
You had
Notre Dame
Arizona
at 6.
State 6. Yes, originally. But now
Oh,
we're
but
kind
we're
of
And my
creating our
7
own
was
bracket.
Oregon. My 7 was Oregon.
So we're putting Notre Dame at 6. Okay.
Wait, who
at
was your
7?
7, Dylan?
Oregon as well.
Right, and Jacob didn't have Oregon in his bracket.
Yeah, I didn't have it, but I had I don't remember I had at 7, but was this my USC?
Yes.
Was 7 my USC?
You had USC 7. I had Oregon 7. Dylan had Oregon 7. You have Oregon out of your playoff, so it gets very interesting. Then me and you both had Georgia 8, and Dylan doesn't have Georgia in his playoffs. So now we kind of get to the stalling point, the stalemate of who are we sliding into this 7 spot. I had Texas Tech 9. Who did y'all have 9?
Florida.
Florida, Jacob.
Let me check real quick. Who did I have 9? I had an SEC team maybe. Is this where I had Georgia? Oklahoma. Yeah, I had Oklahoma over Georgia.
Yeah, so we are getting to a rough point where we aren't colliding as much. What would y'all like to do here at this 7 seed?
7? I mean, honestly, I would say Oregon. Just because Dan Lanning, I mean, he's proved. Yeah, I think Oregon.
I think Oregon's fine. I kind of took a lot of chances on this bracket. So I think Oregon's fine as that 7 spot.
Gotcha. So me and Jacob both had Georgia 8. Dylan, you didn't have Georgia in your bracket at all. What do you want to do about this? Do you really not want Georgia in? Because you said that they take a drastic fall off. And if you make the argument to where, let's hear it, Dylan. Why do they fall off so hard? Tell me why we should not put Georgia in this.
So here's what I'm thinking. So obviously Georgia, this is the biggest drop off under the Kirby Smart era. You have a really tough schedule. A game I want to point out, they got to go to Auburn at a night game. They're retiring Cam Newton's jersey that night. They are losing that game to the Auburn Tigers. And then
why are they losing that
they're
game?
going to – I'm going to get into that. Auburn has a electric receiving core. I'm very high on Jackson Arnold. Our defensive line, pretty much all that returned. We added a bunch of transfers. I love Keldrick Falk. I think he's a potential top 10 draft pick. He is going to – Gunnar Stockton is going to get lit up. And it's also a night game, and that crowd is going to be going crazy. And we're owed a win against Georgia at some point. So I think we win that game. I also really like Florida a lot. So I think Georgia slips up against Florida. I think DJ Lagway goes insane. That's a win. Also, y'all are going to beat Georgia just because I think y'all's defense is electric. I think Gunnar Stockton is going to have multiple interceptions, and that's going to decide that game. Gunnar Stockton obviously had a little bit of experience last year, but he showed – I just watched him in the playoffs, and it was like I just felt like it just wasn't enough. I don't think he brings enough. He brings toughness, but you have to be able to play with toughness. Like, you can play with toughness, but not play with toughness. Like, he just didn't do enough for me. And I'm just not really high on him. Obviously, Georgia brings in talent. That's never going to be an issue. I believe this is just a year they start slipping up. I think they slip up early to a team like Auburn, and that ends up just drastically just going down for them. So that's why I took them out.
Yeah.
And they'll probably bounce back next year, but that's just kind of how I see it.
You make a great point. If Georgia loses to Alabama and Auburn going into that Florida game, I definitely see a point where the morale's low. But we've also seen Kirby Smart clutch up in situations like this where it's hard for me to believe a Georgia team will lose the morale. Now, this Georgia team does seem very immature, though. We see off-the-field issues happening very frequently. It definitely seems like less mature Georgia team. You kind of lose a lot of the guys that was a
Mhm.
part of like the national championship rosters. I think this is actually the first year where they don't have somebody on one of those national championship rosters. Maybe they still have some from that TCU team. Not really sure. I would have to do my research on that. But you lose the pivotal points like Carson
Yeah,
Beck, who I do feel like, although I'm not a Carson Beck fan, I do feel like he was kind
I'm
of
not.
holding that team together, at least in the locker room,
Yeah,
as a leader.
yeah.
It's a questionable Georgia team, bro. So I am fine with dropping them. I don't know if we should drop them out of the bracket, but I am fine with dropping them out of this 8 seed. So
Yeah,
what do you think, Jacob?
I think.
I mean, I'm not against dropping Georgia out. I think Dylan makes a lot of great points. It is a what we would call maybe a retool year or just a you know a year to get it
Yeah,
together. So I could see them slipping. I could see them falling and dropping a couple games they shouldn't. And I mean, in this day and age, even with 12 teams, 3 losses, that can have you left out, especially if you're a
yeah.
top
That's what
10
I see.
conference.
I see 9-3. That's what I'm just. That's what I'm seeing.
I
Like
could see that.
outside
I
looking
mean,
in.
I don't think that's ridiculous, really.
Also, they got to go to Georgia Tech at the end of the year, and if Georgia Tech's are like one of our sleepers, and they end up being what we think they'll be, that's going to
Wow,
be a tough
that's a
game,
good
especially
point.
when they win the overtime last year, because Georgia Tech, I think, is going to be a literal sleeper. And when you had to go to Georgia Tech, considering last year, I thought they should have won the game anyways. When Georgia had more talent, I mean,
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Didn't even
I
so
have
we'll
factor in
see.
that Georgia Tech game. Yeah,
good
I'm
points.
fine with dropping Georgia. Is there any team that y'all would like to move up in y'all's bracket? There's a team that we all agree on, Ohio State. I'm pretty sure we all agree
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
Ohio State, correct? Would y'all want to bump up Ohio State to that 8? Or
that's
Boise
fine.
State?
I think
Ohio
that
State or
works.
Boise
Yeah.
State? Who
'Cause
do y'all think would?
I go Ohio State. I go Ohio State
Ohio
because
State, just
we
talent,
know every
just
year
talent.
they're always going to play those big games every year. They're always going to have that Penn State game. They're always going to have that Michigan game. They're always going to have like a Michigan State. And although Michigan State isn't a big game, that's a rivalry
Yeah,
game for them. It's going to get a lot of coverage. So I think it's fine. I think it's fine to move Ohio State up. They're going to get those big wins and it'll work out for them.
gotcha. Now we're at 9. I had Texas Tech. I don't think anybody else had Texas Tech, correct?
I have Texas Tech in my bracket at 11, but I have
I
Okay.
don't
Florida
love
at
Morton.
9.
I don't love Morton, bro. That's my main
But
thing. I don't love Morton.
What are we
we
thinking?
can. I'm I'm fine with moving Texas Tech up to 9,
What do you
but
think,
I just
Jacob?
still think I like four.
What other teams we arguing at that 9? Is there any?
I just
I
have
had guys
Florida,
like
but I
Boise.
could see
We all
them.
agreed on Boise State. We still have a team like Georgia that we haven't implemented yet, but I think Dylan's really off on them. I think Dylan does not want them in at all. Um, but then that leaves me to I had LSU, and I see LSU being a better team than Florida.
Yeah, they're a. I don't know. I kind of slipped by for LSU just because I think when they lose to Clemson in a week, that's going to really. They're going to kind of. It's going to be like a roller coaster again because like last year when they lost to USC, you could just tell like they would be back for a game and then they would struggle a game. Like they were back for a game, struggled to South Carolina. South Carolina shot themselves in the foot and they should have won that game. Obviously, when Lower Sellers got hurt, if he didn't get hurt, I think they win that game against LSU. But it's just I don't really know if I want to trust Brian Kelly. But we'll see. I like their team. I think they got a good talent. They got the talent to do it. It's just a matter of if they how they react because I think I just know they're getting beat by Clemson. I would bet my whole mortgage on that. It's
But I
just
think
how they react to that.
I think what we should do
Hey,
is
hey,
we
they
should
can't lose too many games now. We're gonna have to beat them. We're gonna have to beat them in
facts.
October, November. They can't lose too many though.
I think what we should do is who do we believe in between LSU, Florida, and Georgia? I feel like that's who should get this 9 spot. If I'm being honest, would y'all say that's a fair way to look at it?
Yeah,
SEC gets that 9 spot.
I mean, okay, but let me make a
Okay, let's hear it.
how. I mean, just because I don't understand. Like, I understand the Florida hype, but I don't feel like Florida has put out anything at quarterback that we should look at and be like, oh yeah, I mean that could get him to the college football playoff. DJ Lagway is cool. DJ Lagway is cool. John Mateer as a college quarterback has been levels above DJ Lagway without a question. Granted, it has been at Washington State, which isn't playing top end talent every single week, but DJ Lagway was not that great last year. I mean, he looked at in spurts. DJ Lagway looked phenomenal,
Yeah.
but that's in spurts. You know, if we're going off spurts, we probably could name 15 of the greatest quarterbacks ever if we're naming them off spurts. So that's just my question: is where does the Florida hype come in as opposed to the Oklahoma hype? Because both are kind of projections of the teams taking a step. That's just what I'm asking y'all. Like,
Okay.
what
I can.
positions of the team do y'all think that bang Florida is undoubtedly
So
better at Oklahoma,
I
than this?
think
I can.
Offensively, yeah.
I think Dylan's putting a lot of trust in the Lagway. I don't think he's talking about the rest of the offense that really does stick off the that sticks out to me. You got Eugene Wilson.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
have
Yep.
Michael Sturdivant, and you have true freshman Dallas Wilson, who I'm pretty sure was a 4-star wide receiver. He might have been a 5-star. But then they also return their O
he was a
line,
4-star.
who literally they return everybody on their O line who was a top O line in the country last year, if I'm not mistaken, when DJ Lagway
Yeah.
took
Yeah.
over as starter. Yeah.
Do we believe
Um,
much in that defense?
I'm gonna make an argument for Florida. They bring back 65% of their defense, which was already, I thought that they had a decent defense, especially their D line. But uh, as far as like comparing Oklahoma and Florida, John Mateer was literally playing some high school teams. Not gonna lie to you. I mean,
I mean, bro, are we gonna do that?
if I'm throwing against Idaho State and you know
We
freaking
gonna do that, bro?
like
That's what
Oregon
your
State,
Heisman ran for last year. That's who your Heisman was
but
running against last year. So
I
we're not
mean,
gonna do that. We're not doing
and
that,
then
bro.
DJ Lagway literally wasn't even supposed to play last year and got rushed into a starting position against Miami because the starting quarterback got hurt. So I mean, I really didn't expect him to go out there and show out, but him having that experience being rushed into that situation, I think will improve for him this year, especially now that he knows that it's his team.
I'd like to
Did he
make a
not
point
win
on that.
6 games?
Um,
Did they not win 6 games last year?
They were actually 6-1 with him as the starter.
Yeah. You said rushed in. A lot of people, when DJ Lagway committed to Florida, literally everybody in the media said that Lagway was better than Graham Mertz. All the fans said Lagway was better than Graham Mertz. Literally everybody said DJ Lagway was Graham Mertz. I don't think it was necessarily of a rushing of him in. I feel
Well,
like
for
Billy
like a
Napier always kind of knew what was going to happen with DJ Lagway and Graham Mertz, and it ended up happening in a way that he probably did not predict. But I do think he probably knew what was going to happen with that QB situation, regardless of injuries.
And since we're talking about defense here, I do want to bring up the point that consistently every single year Brent Venables has if the best, if not a top five defense in college football. It doesn't matter if he returns guys, if he gets in new guys, transfers. He consistently has one of the best defenses in all of college football every single year. The main struggle every year has been talent on offense, has been injury. We saw last year the whole wide receiver core was out for the entirety of the year. They lost multiple O linemen. Um, Brought in O line transfers, brought in receiver transfers, top end receiver transfers. They brought in guys with 700, 800 yard games or yard seasons last year. So, I mean, they brought in to me a better quarterback than DJ Lagway at this point. They brought in receivers who, if they stay healthy, can perform very well, almost to the extent of those Florida wide receivers. And they have a better defense. I mean, that's just flat out. If you're telling me Billy Napier's team has a better defense than Brent Venables, I'm just going to disagree straight up. So, I mean, to me, I'm going to ride for that Oklahoma team because I feel like they're kind of on an equal playing field to that Florida team. I don't feel like there's really much different between the two. I think we're banking on a lot with both teams, but I'm going to take the team that has the more secure guy at quarterback that I know is going to give me 28 touchdowns and he's not going to turn the ball over overly much.
All right, look, we have 9, 10, 11, and 12. I will be coming into this debate is the LSU. I'm not going to say supporter. I would rather do some different things than be a supporter of LSU. But let me come in and rest my case on why LSU I do think is a better team than definitely Oklahoma and Florida. Starters, I think Garrett Nussmeier is better than John Mateer and DJ Lagway. I
I
think
don't agree.
you don't agree with that.
I,
You got Mateer
I
over
don't
Nussmeier,
agree. I
or
do,
you got both of them over
but
Nussmeier.
I think it's very close. No, I have Mateer over Nussmeier, and then I have Lagway under both. But
Okay.
like this is predictions, so we're expecting jumps and stuff.
Yeah.
End of the season, I wouldn't be mad to say that Nussmeier could jump Mateer, maybe even Lagway, just off talent.
Correct. Okay. Now, when you look at the skill positions, already they have running back Caleb Durham, who before injuries last season was looking like one of the most electrifying running backs in college football. Um, and then you go to wide receiver, you have Chris Hilton Jr., you have Nick Anderson, you have Xavier Thomas, you have Aaron Anderson, you have Barian Brown. That is without a doubt the fastest wide receiver core in college football. And then you pair that with, in my opinion, the best deep ball in college football with Garrett Nussmeier. I do think that's where no other QB competes with him at. When you compare that speed and Garrett Nussmeier, and we've seen LSU offenses in the past just put up numbers and numbers and numbers. And now, when you get to the defense, with that Jaden Daniels, Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr. team, they had me and Dylan out there for defense. But now, when you go and look at defense, what I would like to point out the most is you bring in transfer Patrick Payton, who was without a doubt Florida State's best D lineman last season, and that's going to be another loss towards Florida State. Thank God. You have West Weeks, you have Whit Weeks, phenomenal linebacker duo. And then you get to Harold Perkins as well at that star. So and I know Jacob, you are a little lower on Harold Perkins, but I do think a lot of that comes with the scheme, and he is still in the same scheme. Maybe they find a new spot for him. Maybe they put him back on the D line. Hopefully they do. Hopefully they don't bring him. What's the word? Hopefully they don't bring him on the ball as much as they have in the past couple seasons. But then when you get to the DBs, they brought in one of the heaviest rated DBs out of the transfer portal, Mansour Delane. And then they also have returners in Ashton Stamps, who was good for them last season, and Jordan Gilbert, redshirt senior. So when you look at what they returned on defense versus what they brought in, which I'm really looking at, they also brought in Jack Pyburn, but I'm really looking at Patrick Payton and Mansour Delane, who I think are two huge additions. So when you pair what is already one of the most electrifying offenses in college football, now you pair them with at least a decent defense that we can finally see out of LSU. I think there's not a doubt in my mind that they at least go 9-3. I do see that. And if we are bringing in two more SEC teams and we're debating Florida and Oklahoma, I do see a world where all three of those teams are sitting at 9-3.
Yeah,
I do think
I mean,
LSU. So that's my.
I can agree with LSU.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot about them.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be honest.
my
So
main
you would have
thing
had
with
LSU,
LSU,
Dylan?
Yeah.
Okay.
my main thing with LSU is just seeing the offense and the defense put together at the same time. Like you did say, they brought in probably the best defensive class they've had, at least in terms of who they're starting this year,
Yeah.
transfers, that kind of thing. They do probably have their best defensive class this year. But I just gotta see them. I gotta see them put together on both sides. But I gotta see Georgia, or not Georgia. I gotta see Oklahoma put
Wow, they
together
have DJ
completely.
Pickett too. True
I
freshman
gotta
cornerback.
see. Yeah. So I mean, I'd say that in terms of who has the best chance of the three to make it in, I would say LSU probably,
Okay.
mostly because they have the smallest step to take.
Gotcha.
In terms of just having to see those two sides of the football work fluidly together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I do still like Florida. I do think that they can take a seriously big step, but I don't. The only thing I've seen from DJ Lagway to say that he can lead that offense and take a big step is his ability to make tough throws at times, but he'll back those tough throws up with some absolute Stevies, which is a part of being a young
Well,
quarterback.
for sure.
So
And he is a gunslinger. And if LSU can prove to create as many turnovers as Garrett Nussmeier throws, I don't even think the turnovers will come into question. Because
yeah,
LSU will be putting up, in my opinion, at least 35 points plus per game. I just don't see where that doesn't happen with those wide receivers and Caden
oh
Durham
yeah,
if he stays healthy.
they will score the ball. They will score the ball, and that's
Franquez
one thing
Green
I
at
do
tight end
expect.
too. I forgot to add.
I expect a lot of scoring the ball from them, and I expect Florida to score the ball a lot as
Yeah.
well. But it's just I think it's a little bit of the same, seeing those two things work fluidly together. Like Oklahoma, even like we've said, best defense, one of the better defenses in college football. Consistently because of Brent Venables, that system he has. But you know, we haven't seen that offense work fluidly with it. So it'll be a matter of, I think the way I'm going to vote this is what do I think, what team has to take the smallest step to get into the playoff? And I'm going to say that is LSU, just because you have a guy at quarterback who's been there running that system for 3 years now. You've got unbelievable wide receiver core, like you said, all the things you mentioned. Mansour Delane's in. They had a great defensive line transfer. Harold Perkins, Whit Weeks. So, like you said, I think I am going to take LSU here mostly because they just have that small step to take to get there.
Gotcha. So we are all in agreement to slide in LSU at that 9 spot?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So now we get to 10. We still have Texas Tech and Georgia off the board, who were seen in. Damn, I just dropped something. We still have Texas Tech and Georgia, who are off the board currently, that were on brackets. Do we feel comfortable with putting them in 10? I know y'all brought up Florida and Oklahoma, and I think it all comes back down to Florida, Oklahoma, and Georgia. I think with where we're at right now in that debate, I feel like we all agreed on Boise State in. I feel like Boise State would grab that 10
Yeah.
since we are all in agreement. So we will go Boise State 10. And now that leaves us 11 and 12, where we have teams like Florida, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Georgia, USC.
Yeah.
Who, I'm not going to lie, Jacob, if you push a good argument for USC, I'm all on board because you know how I feel about USC. I mean,
Oh,
that's a
yeah.
fun ass team. But can the defense, like that's where I'm at. Can can Lincoln Riley put together a damn defense?
Man, we've been asking that for years, man. We've been asking that since Oklahoma, man. Can he
Yeah.
put together a defense? I mean, the way I see it, I think they have a lot of talent. Like you said, that LSU receiving core is probably the best in the country, but that USC receiving core is a close second. I
Yeah.
mean, it's phenomenal.
I mean,
Makai
bro,
Lemon is an absolute
Makai
dog.
Lemon, Jacoby Lane, Xavier Jordan, Prince Strahan, Corey Sims.
Yeah, I mean that's all the quarterback has to do is get the ball to him. So I mean that is something that I do gotta look at with that defense. That if I'm being honest, even if I went and looked at the defense, went through all the film, I really couldn't tell you many standouts because there's not. I mean, I hate to be like that, but when you don't get a lot of stops, it's hard for me to really call anybody a standout. So it'll be a lot of them trying to figure a defense out. The offense is going to put points up. Coming out of the Big 12, I think there's a shot just for the sake of parity. I think there's a shot they get in from the committee. But if we're talking straight football, I mean, it's hard to argue them against those SEC teams who are already going to come with that defense intact, who are already going to show out with a defense. And it'll be more about putting the offense together for the SEC. So, but I mean, if you're looking for a team that's going to score a lot of points and just kind of make teams not be able to keep up with them, I do feel good about USC making that. I think they have a lot of talent across the board. We've seen Lincoln Riley make the playoffs with even smaller, teams in it out of the Big 12. So I don't think it's unreal to say that USC out of the Big 10 can, get in there. But like I said, we are arguing what Georgia, we're arguing Florida, we're arguing Oklahoma, we're arguing Texas Tech. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to say because those are all teams that can play pretty great defense, but I don't know if any of those teams can match USC's offense. I don't know if the gap between USC's like defensive woes and like Florida's offensive highs, I don't know if the gap is as big as we think. But I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see
Yeah.
about it. But
The way
we are arguing against the SEC, so it does get a little bit harder.
the way I'm looking at it is, so we have Florida, Georgia, and Oklahoma is the remaining SEC teams, and only one of them will be able to grab this 11 and 12 spot. I don't think there would be a world where we have 1, 2, 3. There's no way there would be 5 SEC teams in a 12 team playoff.
Yeah.
So Georgia, Oklahoma, Florida, and then we have Texas Tech, Nebraska, USC. Which I'm not gonna lie, I don't like Nebraska at all out of the remaining teams, and I don't really like Texas Tech. I honestly, I'm having second thoughts about having Texas Tech in my thing, but I do feel like there would be 2 Big 12 teams versus that many Big 10 teams, and I like Texas Tech more than any ACC team to put in. So if we're just going based off parity,
in that spot.
USC.
I like USC.
Yeah, I just want to say screw it and put USC. I'm down. I'm so down.
I
That's a fun pick. Now
because
for
I mean,
12.
if I am looking the most I guess I would say like mature, like ready quarterbacks that we have left of all the teams, I would say is probably Mateer. I think the teams that have to take the biggest step at quarterback would be Florida, and it would be Georgia, and it would
Do you
also
trust more
be
Lagway or Stockton?
man.
I ain't gonna lie. Lagway.
I want to make the argument for South Carolina. I have them in my bracket.
Yeah, you did have in your bracket. I do like Shane Beamer as a coach. I do like Shane Beamer. My main thing with South Carolina is I don't know if the talent is there yet. But it's not that they don't have talent. I just think that they need it more in certain specific positions. Like I think they do need an O-line buff. I do think the defense could use, but they do have some good guys like Sissy at I think it's Sissy. Is that how you say it at cornerback? It's Cisse. I think it's Sissy. But they have him at cornerback. He's a beast. They have off the edge, Dylan Stewart, and then the guy on the other side. They cause a lot of havoc. So that generates points, that generates turnovers, that generates quarterback duress. So I mean, those are all things that get you to win football games. Like we said, we still do have to hope that, which I do think Lenoris is a baller. Personally, I think Lenoris Sellers is a good football player. So, but like with all of these last few teams, we kind of do got to see if they can take that step. I mean, it's the same with Nebraska. Dylan Riley, talented, hasn't taken a step yet. He threw as many touchdowns as interceptions. So, I mean,
I'm about to argue against South Carolina because I don't like that pick at all. And it's really because from a schedule standpoint. So so they start out their season pretty easy outside of Virginia Tech. I'm not gonna lie, week 1 Virginia Tech that could amount to something, but then you get to this middle towards the end, and they go to LSU, and this is all in a row, by the way. They go to LSU, play Oklahoma, play Alabama, go to Ole Miss, go to Texas A&M, then they get Coastal Carolina, and then they played Clemson. So from that, I see Clemson, Alabama, and LSU is just losses to me. Then
those are tough games.
So do we trust South Carolina to win out between Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma? I'm not gonna lie, them going 3-0 in those 3 games would kind of surprise me. I feel like Ole Miss is a team that we're kind of just not really talking about a lot, but it's still Ole Miss. They're gonna put points up on the board on any given day.
They're gonna finish ranked. They do it every year. So I mean, yeah, that's a team to watch out for is that Ole Miss, especially when you're talking about playoff teams. What do you have your argument for them for South Carolina, Dylan? What is a lot of your argument? I know you're a Sellers guy. You're a Beamer guy.
Obvious 3 losses right there. from that
It's just
schedule
like
alone.
the way that I saw it last year because they went 9-3. They had a really good run at the end of the year. I think they were one injury away from 10-2. If Fulton Norris doesn't get injured, I think they beat LSU.
Okay.
And considering they bring most of that team back, that's experienced. And I think Shane Beamer's really starting to take off. They're going to build off what they did last year. They're going to compete in every game they play, I believe. Like last year, they competed in all the bigger games. Like Clemson, they competed against them, even though they had a really good roster. Even though it's better this year, but they competed with them last year and won that game in Clemson, like at Clemson Stadium. I just really like Lenore Sellers. I think they can compete. Doesn't mean they'll win, but I think every game they will compete, especially with what they did last year, bringing most of that back. I think.
I completely agree.
They
That's
could-
always a team that's
Yeah.
gonna keep games close because I feel like Shane Beamer is also one of those coaches that can just make a game pretty ugly on you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So with this last seed, what the hell are you doing, Dylan? Damn, bro. Yeah, it has to go to a last SEC team, and the way I'm looking at it is we have Georgia, Florida, Oklahoma, and South Carolina. And the way I'm looking at it is we have Brent Venables, Billy Napier, Shane Beamer, and Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
That's what I'm factoring it down to. And I mean, I just feel like, how are we going to count Kirby Smart out like this?
Yeah, that's where it gets tough at. And granted, I will say, granted, that this is probably the most raw Georgia offense we've seen. Maybe, I mean, I don't know when the last time we've seen a Georgia offense just this raw in terms of who they have, who they're putting out. I mean, they have guys they're bringing back, but they lost some fourth, fifth-year seniors last year at receiver. Obviously, Carson Beck transferred. They lost an offensive lineman or two, but, they always have a good offensive line.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard to tell what that team's going to look like. You know that they're going to have a good defense, even though they're bringing a lot of guys back. You said earlier this is a more immature Georgia team. We could see them make a lot of mental mistakes throughout the course of the season, which is not something we're super accustomed to seeing from a Georgia team.
Yeah.
Like you said, it is hard to count out Kirby Smart. I mean, the dude, he learned from the best. He's a genius. He's great. He's here every year, so it's hard. It is hard to keep him out. But I mean, I could really say the same with Florida. Like Florida has a tough schedule. I think Billy Napier is a great coach. And I think they could put a lot of points up, win a lot of close games that maybe they shouldn't, and they could get in. Um, and then I mean, I guess for my Oklahoma guys, I'm just riding with the same thing. I mean, it's going to be an amazing defense. Going to keep games close. It's just if that offense can get it going, I think that we'll look at Oklahoma a lot differently by week 8. If that's a team that consistently is getting stops every single game, and then John Mateer is going out on the other end of the football and putting it in the end zone. I think that looks a lot different, especially when you're trying to pick that last team, and you're picking between Gunnar Stockton, who's I don't know what he's going to look like at this time of the year. None of us do, but the way we see him now is a guy that's coming in and is just going to have to figure it out, or he's not going to figure it out, and they're not going to be great. But I mean, I think that coming down to it, if I had to pick, I'd obviously pick the most experienced of everything, and that is what Mateer is to me, is the most experienced guy. But I mean, like you said, hard to keep Kirby out. I don't know. It's hard to keep Kirby out.
And Dylan, you are riding with who in this argument?
I don't know, man. I'm on the Beamer train, man.
You got South Carolina over Florida and Georgia? Man.
Like now that I think
I
about it, bro,
I was fine with Florida over South Carolina. I was fine with Florida over Georgia and Oklahoma too. I was fine
I
with
honestly don't
South
think we can go
Carolina
wrong with
last
any of
out of
these
those.
teams. I don't think we can go wrong with any of these.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not, except for Georgia. I'm sorry. I'm gonna sound crazy for it, but I'm not.
I mean, we don't have to include Georgia now. We do not have to.
Hey, they let Bama out last year, man. It's not crazy.
Yeah,
It's not crazy, so they leave Kirby out.
You know what? I'll give y'all benefit of the doubt. I feel like we've kind of gone my way on some of these, so we can take Georgia out. Even though me and Jacob both have Georgia in our bracket, so I feel like mathematically, I mean, Georgia would obviously be the pick, but we can leave it out.
So now we have a real debate, bro, between who we think these three SEC teams, which of these three SEC teams is taking this.
I'm done with South Carolina. I don't even. No.
Okay. Well, I don't think we're gonna do South Carolina. I don't think. I think South Carolina's got -1 vote right now.
I mean, dude, all he's talking about is Lenore Sellers. Nothing else on that offense are you bringing up. It's just Lenore Sellers. That's the only part that you're bringing up. That offense
Nick
just
Carver.
does not excite me outside of Lenore Sellers.
We got Nick Carver, but
I mean, what has he
we just
done?
haven't seen a lot. Yeah, we haven't seen a lot from that frame.
What has he done? Honestly, Georgia wide receivers are better than Oklahoma. Brought in Noah Thomas, Zachariah Branch, even though I'm not as high on Zachariah Branch.
Oh,
Noah
I was
Thomas
talking
is
about.
pretty
I
good.
was talking about Nick Carver out of South Carolina.
Yeah,
But,
no, I'm just saying, like, if we're comparing wide receiver cores, Georgia's wide receiver core is better than South Carolina's.
Yeah, yeah, that is one thing I will say that I think could be a knock on South Carolina is that they don't really outside of Lenore's. It is kind of hard to find like top end weapons, which you could say the same for Oklahoma. I think is fair. Florida is the one team that I would really say of these three that it's like, okay, you look at that offense, you can find a lot of guys on that offense that can make a lot of things happen.
Yeah. I think we should
So-
lean to Florida.
I think I'm
Personally.
leaning towards Florida personally too because of the
Yeah,
O-line.
yeah.
That
If we're just
O-line
trying to
is
get like
really
a group.
good, and then I do think Lagway takes a massive stride. And I mean, 6-1 as a starter, as long as he doesn't turn the ball over, that Florida offense will be up there in the top 10.
It will come down to those turnovers, though. It will come down to those turnovers.
Correct. Right, so we can go.
I honestly think
What's up?
I could see this going down to these three teams towards the end of the year.
I
Not
agree.
gonna lie.
I agree.
I do too.
So, with that being said, our combined bracket is Clemson at 1, Texas at 2, Penn State at 3, Alabama at 4, Arizona State at 5, Notre Dame at 6, Oregon at 7, Ohio State at 8, LSU at 9, Boise State at 10, USC at 11, and Florida at 12. Now, let's pick these winners. We can go by it pretty quick. I see Dylan getting tired. Arizona State versus Florida. Who do we got in that matchup?
I'm taking Arizona State, but
Yeah.
I think
just
I would lean towards
experience.
They were
Arizona
there
State as
last
well.
year. They were there last year. Sam Levitt, man.
I agree. Now that would lead us to Clemson versus Arizona State as a 1-5 matchup. Give me Clemson.
Taking Clemson.
Give me Clemson.
Yeah.
Now we go to the 9-8 matchup, which would be LSU versus Ohio State, and man, what a game would that be?
Yeah, that would be incredible.
Who are we
give me
leaning to in that game?
LSU. Give me LSU in that game.
I
Actually,
agree. I got LSU in that.
I think that they can just outscore them. I think they can score more points than them. Bottom line.
And I
Give me
trust
LSU.
Nussmeier
Would it
more
be,
than
would it
Julian
be
Samuel.
at LSU? Would it be
No.
at
It
LSU?
would
or
be
at
at LSU.
Yeah.
No, at Ohio State.
Oh. We can agree with LSU. It's fine.
I'm fine with LSU.
Yeah, we'll still go LSU. That does make it a little more interesting,
Would
though.
bring us to LSU versus. Let me just check. Yeah, it would do that. Okay, LSU versus Texas. Be a great game. Phenomenal SEC matchup in the quarterfinals. I'm leaning towards Texas for sure.
Talent-wise, yeah. They were there last year.
I think
it's
yeah.
experience.
I think Nussmeier would ultimately just turn the ball over more than Arch Manning.
Yeah.
I think Sark gets it done, man. I think he gets it done.
I mean, Brian Kelly. I mean, we can't put our chips in the one for too long.
Yeah.
Just keep
He does. He does have to fuck it up at some point.
Now we get 11-6, which would be Notre Dame versus USC, which would be a rematch from the regular season. Pretty sure they play, if I'm not mistaken.
I said we just ride with USC low key.
You just want to have
We
some
gonna ride
fun,
with
say
them.
fucking and say USC
Yeah, we better ride with
Why?
them, bro. We better
Why?
ride
It's
with them.
USC. The matchup is USC.
versus Notre Dame at Notre Dame.
Who?
I think I'm going Notre Dame.
Damn. I mean, the thing that I'm thinking about is like on
The-
defense, Notre Dame does have studs, man. They have
The thing that
studs
I'm
on
looking at
defense.
is Jeremiah Love versus that Arizona State box.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, give me
I
Notre
mean,
Dame.
man, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I
Me
think
personally.
I'm gonna take ND
Yeah, I'm
there.
gonna go
I'm gonna
Notre
take
Dame,
ND.
which would give us Notre Dame versus Penn State. Great
Penn
matchup,
State.
I think.
Penn State.
Was that the matchup last year? Am I tripping?
No,
Who
they
did Penn
never
State
played.
lose?
Penn State lost to Ohio State. I'm pretty sure, right?
Okay.
They lost to Texas, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think.
I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly either. I
Okay,
worked the whole
so
time.
we'll go Penn State, and that would leave us Oregon versus Boise State. Where are we going?
I don't really got anything to say there. I'm gonna
I'm
take
going
Oregon by a
Oregon.
mile.
And then we would have Oregon versus Alabama, where I go
Bama.
Alabama.
Yeah, I'll go Alabama, but that's interesting.
So we end up with the exact same top four that literally all of us have had because, like I've said, these are probably the most obvious top four teams in college football. Now we get Alabama versus Clemson. To be honest, I know y'all are in favor of Clemson. I'm in favor of Alabama, but I'm perfectly fine with going Clemson right here for the national championship game.
I think so. I do think we go Clemson.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, we can go Clemson, Texas versus Penn State. I'm leaning towards Texas over Penn State. What are we thinking, y'all?
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fair. I mean, it's the only thing holding me back is that we just
don't think Drew Allar would be able to put up enough points versus a Texas offense. I don't see it.
yeah. I mean that Sark is going to put the ball in the end zone.
He's gonna put the ball in the end zone. Wow, look at Kane, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
facts.
like
So inspiration.
Cincinnati would be a rematch from last year.
This would not be a rematch from last year.
Well, not a national championship rematch, but Texas was the one that knocked Clemson out, and I think it was the first round.
Very close game. Ended up being close.
And I'd say Clemson gets them in the rematch.
I got Clemson as well. Just the better football team.
Yeah, I just want to take Clemson. Dabo Sweeney, he's been there before. Got a better quarterback than the last time he was there, if you ask me. But
which means Clemson is our combined bracket national champion. I love it. I think the combined bracket was fun. I don't agree with leaving out Kirby Smart, but I do see a world where Kirby Smart, that team does go 9-3, and Florida has the tiebreaker because I do actually have Florida beating Georgia in the regular season. So I'm not mad at it whatsoever. I'm not. Now I did have one last segment that we could have done. It was optional. If y'all don't want to, it's fine. But it wouldn't take too long. It would be pretty quick. What do y'all think? It would be pretty quick.
What is it?
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm fine.
Basically, I will ask y'all, who do y'all think is QB1 in the draft? And then I will list you quarterbacks. Would you rather keep that NFL quarterback or draft Cade Klubnik? Well, that's my QB1, so that was just the example.
Yeah. He's mine. I mean,
okay, Cade Klubnik is all of our QB1s.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna name some NFL quarterbacks. You tell me, would you rather have Cade Klubnik to start your franchise or this NFL quarterback? First up, Shedeur Sanders.
I'm gonna take Cade Klubnik.
I'm gonna take Cade Klubnik. Dylan?
Cade Klubnik time, brother.
Dylan, can you answer, please? Oh, your mic didn't even work.
Cade Klubnik.
Gotcha. Okay. Cade Klubnik or Tyler Shuck?
Bro, come on, bro. Of course I'm going Cade Klubnik, man.
Gotcha.
Golly, bro. I would tell Tyler Shuck he's bad at football, probably to his face.
Okay.
I probably would, bro.
Or Justin Fields?
Probably Cade Klubnik, but
Yeah,
Justin Fields still has time, but I'd probably pick Cade Klubnik.
Cade Klubnik or Jackson Dart?
Man, Jackson Dart has looked really solid in his preseason.
I kind of like Jackson Dart. I think
he's got good size.
if he gets the right opportunity, I think he can thrive. So right
He's
now,
got
I'm
good
just going to say
legs.
Jackson Dart.
Got you.
I'll say
Okay.
Jackson Dart
So
for
we're going
now.
Jackson
But
Dart. Got you.
I will go K Klubnik. I do think he just has
Okay,
better arm
Klubnik.
talent. But Jackson Dart has the wheels, man. He does
Yeah.
have wheels.
Okay. Leaves us to K. Klubnik or Bryce Young.
I'm going Bryce, man. But I'm going Bryce,
I
but
think I'm
I
going Bryce Young
love.
as well.
Yeah.
And lastly, this is, well, I'm not going to say why I'm using this. K. Klubnik or Caleb Williams. I'm going Caleb Williams.
Ooh.
I'm not a Caleb Williams fan. I'm going to go Kate Klubnik.
I'm gonna go Caleb Williams. Oh, but I mean, bro, it's not unbelievable. I think Kate Klubnik gets a lot of like because he's a little older, but he's not that older. He's not old. He just didn't go to school after 3 years. I don't hate the take, Dylan. I don't hate the take.
Gotcha. Well,
I'm real
that
Caleb
is
Williams,
K.
man. I
Klubnik
don't hate the
or.
take.
We will save the NFL portion for another podcast. I didn't think the college section would take this long, but I'm glad it did because that was very fun.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this again. We're gonna film 2 episodes next week. Um, yeah, 2 episodes next week. And yeah, thank everybody who pulled up, typed in chat and shit. You feel me? And yeah, see y'all on the next one.